What's up, y'all? What y'all doing? Happy Tuesday. We are back. Let me know you're in the room when you get in the room. How's everyone's Tuesday? Uh-huh. What are y'all up to? Tacos? Tequila? What is it y'all do on Tuesdays? Hi. Not business fish. How are y'all doing? I'm sitting here waiting on everyone. So just let me know when you are here so we can talk and we can chat. Are y'all excited about Flame? I am, right? Hi.
Hi.
That light is so bright shining into you.
It'll be dim in a second.
What are you saying?
Well, I
It's
mean,
gonna be
it's gonna
dark.
start getting dark.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
How are you?
I am here. How are you?
Are you still in Atlanta?
No, I'm home.
Oh, what time did you leave?
So let me tell you what happened. So every year we try to go, we being like, Portia, my mother Portia, and Uncle Storm, Uncle Greg, and Jazz, and Ray the Chicken, all of us. We always try to go to the anniversary show because, it's fun. And so this year was a little different. Jasmine was out of town. Uncle Greg didn't get off work until like 11. And Portia had an emergency. So she couldn't go. And that caused Uncle Storm not to go. So I actually went not by myself, but by myself. So
Not with your regular group that
not
goes
with the
to
group,
the
but you're
yeah.
going to always see people from all over there. So when I get there, the show starts. You know me, I'm a prompt girl. And so when I walk in, Crystal Iman is walking outside, and it's like 10:10, and I'm like, honey, what's going on? The show ain't finished. He's like, no, that was going to go at 10:15. It really went on at 10:15, and it was so long. I walked in that club at 10:10. Do you know what time I walked out?
What time?
2:30 this morning. And this is the thing. I walked out and it was still other people that had to perform.
And the overture started at 10:15?
Yes. And the opening was so beautiful. It's the anniversary. It was so good. And then of course, Sophia and did her talking, that can be a little
Long.
lengthy. And then combined with Stasha, But yes, I didn't get out of there until 2:30. So when I got back to my hotel room, I was like, do I really want to lay down? Or do I just want to get on the road?
So you
And
must
so
have had a little energy.
yeah, so Baxter went live last night. So I ended up, his live was like really long. So I said, you know what? Let me just pack up and let
And
me just get on the
listen.
road. And so I went and I just got on the road and I got back home at like 5 something this morning. I went straight to the gym. I was off today. So I went straight to the gym and then I came home, unpacked. You know me, OCD. I got to unpack everything, put it back in its place. I know. And so, yeah. But, yeah. So,
Well, at least you made it home safely. So
yeah. And I know you hate that. You hate when I drive. And Siobhan said something to me last night. She was like, you're so independent. You just get up and go. And I was like, yeah, I mean,
yeah, but it's still better safe than sorry. But
I know.
seeing that you don't drink and all of that, I can
Mhm.
understand you have more energy than
Yeah. So
others.
I like listen to the live till I couldn't listen to it no more because it was Then I turned on music that I need to learn for Duval and stuff like that, and I was like, okay. So by the time I was probably like 30 minutes out, I was like, oh, I can feel it. But I said, if I don't go to the gym now, I'm not going to go, and I know we got to get ready and stuff like that. And so I
Yeah.
know that tonight's show probably be a little longer than expected because we know we have 3 talking individuals. And so there's some questions that need to be answered. So I said, well, let me just go ahead and just go to the gym. I did that for an hour and I came on home, unpacked,
Did you have to
showered.
work?
No, I was off today. Thank
Okay.
God. So yeah.
So you
Yeah.
were able to get some rest though.
Kind of sort of. You know how that is when you lay down and then the normal routine of people that call you at those certain times, my mother, then my sister, then I think Katrina called, the guy that I'm dating, he kept calling like, are you back? Are you back? And I was asleep. It was just like a lot. Other than that, how are you?
I'm okay. I do want to make sure we acknowledge our good friend of our show and of us, Trinity,
Yes.
and the unfortunate early passing of Trinity. We're sending her family lots of love, all of her friends, close loved ones, lots of love. We definitely love Trinity around here, and she has taken care of both of us at times, but at pageant shows, she's pulled our coattail, like she's done things. So we truly love and will miss her.
Yeah, so those of you that may not know, I'm sure you know Trinity Royale, who is our cisgender sister in the community. She passed away, I believe it was last Friday, maybe Saturday.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure what day. She was dealing
Saturday.
with some things, and it was definitely quick. And so she leaves, I believe, 2 sons and maybe 2 or 3 grandchildren. Don't quote me.
Grandchildren.
The services will be this Friday. I was so it was beautiful to see the Stars of the Century take up a donation for her and her family last night.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
so they're going to give that over to her son. So I don't know the details of the actual services, but you can always go to Benny's page
I'm sure
and
to be
or
listed. Yeah.
I'm sure he's going to list it as well. We will definitely miss Trinity. And I was talking to Naisha yesterday morning, um, or maybe it was Sunday morning. And we were talking about it. And it's so crazy that she said it again last night. We'll never have these moments again. So you have to be very, very mindful. He went out, but you have to. So I'm talking to you all. You have to be mindful of the moments that you're in and take them in because you'll never get them back again. So imagine Black America last year, Trinity fussing at us. Come on, y'all. Come on. Come on. Come on. We got to go. Now we won't have that anymore. I look
Yeah.
back last year at Black America Plus, the opening, Pebbles crowned me. Pebbles was in front of me. That's a memory that we took pictures and
Yeah.
we had together. We won't never have that again because unfortunately she passed before this year. So I say all that to say, yes, we are human. Yes, there are times where we
Yes.
want to vent, we want to go off, we want to feel a type of way about certain things. But you have to remember that these moments you'll never, ever, ever get
Yeah.
again. It's so
She took
interesting.
care of Renaissance this year. I mean, in last
She
November,
definitely
she
took
was
care of us.
doing
Mhm.
her big one. And
Yeah.
yeah, those are moments that we won't get again. But the beauty is we have those moments
We have
to
those
hold
memories
on
to
to.
remember her from. Exactly. So yeah,
So
I'm not going to sit on here and preach Thomas. Oh,
yeah,
stop
just
the
acknowledgement.
negativity. And, that's not me. I don't do that. Do you? But just be mindful
Yeah,
of the repercussions and the actions and the reactions of everything that
yeah,
we do. And I am speaking to myself when it comes to a lot of that.
yeah. On
In
another
and out.
note, shout outs to Glamorous, Miss
Yeah.
Glamorous Dee
Didi Santos. Yes.
Dee
Shout out to Didi
Santos.
Santos. And Hyman Collingwood.
Hyman, I think that's his name, Hyman. Um, I don't know his name, honestly, but I think it does start with an H.
I think it's Jaime, something like
Okay.
that. Shout out to them. Shouts out to the first runner up Cataluna, second runner up Portia. Of course, fourth runner up, I think it was Roman
Roman and
and
Kendall.
Kendall Duval.
And
So,
a shout out to Rachel. Also, Rachel and Portia actually tied for the second runner-up spot, but
oh,
Portia
okay.
got it
Okay. Okay.
because of their technical things that they use for that. But yes, Portia got second, but they actually tied. So a
Okay.
huge shout out to Rachel also.
Right. This weekend is Mr. Miss Classic Empire here in Atlanta. Go out and support Nicole
All
Alphonse.
of them, right? It's all of them.
Nicole Alphonse, Neandre, and Amaya Glamazon.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested in competing, you always reach out to Ricky and Maya. Continental Plus is next week. We will not have a show next week because I will be doing my due diligence as Miss Duval Plus. But no, going to support Alvion and her step down, and so many girls that's competing that you know how you be like team this person. I can't even do that this year because I'm like I'm team all of them,
Just
and
team.
so yeah. So definitely shouts out to the girls that are
Shout out to
competing.
Avion for doing such an amazing job this year.
Yeah, shouts out to the crew. I think her slogan was the
I
cruise
see
or
Didi
something.
Santos in the comments. Hello, beautiful Valencia Santiago. Congratulations, Miss Santos.
Yes, hi mother. We waiting on Flame, y'all. You know, so just bear with us. She'll come on when she's ready. I guess you know she's a uh celebrity.
I resent. She asked me to resend it to her. I'll just resend it to
Okay,
her.
perfect.
So,
So yeah. Other than that, talk to us about Black and Houston and Impulse.
well, Black Gay Houston is on April 25th, Friday, April 25th, here in the beautiful city of Houston and the not so beautiful state of Texas because of our governor. But away from that, it's going to be here in Houston. It's a great title with some amazing performers, and it's going to be an amazing competition. It's always a great competition. Presentation is all Black self-expression, but you can have different color accessories. But your garment itself must be completely Black, including stones and beads. The other categories are interview, evening gown, and formal wear, and talent. There is no Q&A. So it's a great pageant. It's a great system to be a part of. They have several different pageants that are connected with it. Sherman Houston is the owner of that pageant. And then on that Sunday, April 27th, will be my preliminary to Mr. and Miss Texas and Mr. and Miss Texas at Large, US of A. So if you're in the city, you should come out to 2409 Grant Street to play the nightclub and catch that. We have some amazing competition. Got some pop-ups competing, so it's gonna be really good. This is going into the 40th year anniversary of Miss Texas US of A. And if you know anything about Texas US of A, you know that Texas US of A is equivalent to your biggest national. So in the words of the Ocean of Soul with Motion of the Ocean, your
Oh
favorite
God,
system's favorite system is Texas US of A. So I would welcome you to come out. And then on June 22nd,
so long-winded.
how long would I had a lot to talk about? It's three different pageants. June 22nd is Mr. and Miss Impulse. This is going to be the first one. Our emeritus is Tommy Ross and Rayshawn Montrese. They are the emeritus, but they will be giving up their title to our very first competition, which will be held in Houston on June 22nd. We have some great entertainment, some great qualified judges. We have an extensive judges list made of half community leaders and half pageant leaders. So it is going to be an amazing competition. And this is an advocacy competition. So this person will be a spokesperson. So we do have both interview and panel discussion because we feel like you should
Petty.
have something to say and we want to give you the platform to say it. But
Right.
that is going to be on June 22nd. So it's going to be a great competition. A lot of competitions going on in Houston right now.
Right. So moving on, we have a great guest tonight. First of all, I want you all to share the live. We definitely want to hear Flame's story on this side. I think a lot of times Flame doesn't get to get when she's on different podcasts and different radio shows. She doesn't get to get the meat of her personal life. It's more so other stuff, and you know she wants to share that she will. But we want to get to know her on a more personal level, and so we want her story to be told. We never prep our guests. So I don't know how this is gonna go. Because you know, it's 3 miles on this phone, on this live. So I don't know how this is gonna go, but I would appreciate if I could just share the live. Also, all the other videos have been uploaded to my YouTube channel. It's you have to put the @ symbol, Let's Chat with Trinity Black. I apologize, but we didn't know what we were doing. I am not a technology girl. Wendell, he probably is, but we don't know what we're doing. So we do not have Tommy, Yasmin, Terrell, Rick, or Layla. And so hopefully Tio said he did pre-record them, so
So we
hopefully
need
he
to
can
ask him
go
to
too.
send that to us.
Yeah, yeah, because it's been over a year, well over a year with those 5. But we do have everyone else from there. Of course, this will go on. But we are just grateful. It took her a minute to come on. I think she's gonna tell us why it took her a minute to come.
She gonna read or
You know
something.
she's gonna read us down. But I've grown, because Jesus. I've grown to just respect Flame, and and who she is and what she stands for. It may not always be what I agree with, but that's the beauty of everyone in this community or everyone in the world. And so we got this hour, which I'm more than sure it won't be an hour, and I'm cool with it. But we want to bring on our legend in the community. Y'all know her as the Mama Shake It Up, the Flame Monroe.
It's
Well,
all in
hello,
the name,
Trinity.
baby.
Oh,
Hi, Trinity. Hello,
Oh,
Wendell.
you had came and pulled it
oh, you
all
have did that.
together.
I was having a Tina Knowles moment.
You look just like her, though. Beautiful.
It's
Oh my
corny
God,
joke time.
Flame.
Want to hear it? Here it goes.
She put on the blonde so she could really cut up.
She got all the girls out. Oh, Flame, you do it. You did it. You did it.
I don't have my girls asleep right now. I ain't woke them up yet.
Flame, we want to first of all thank you for giving us this time. We know that you are a busy woman, tours, acting, hosting, reading the kids, all the things that you do. So we definitely want to give you much appreciation for coming to talk to little old us about your life and about the things you're doing. So yes, Ken, you have anything you want to say before we start?
No, I just want to thank you for finally giving us this moment that that we've been waiting on, and the people have been waiting to hear. So I'm just excited. So let's jump in.
So,
Yes.
so y'all had to grow on me. I appreciate what you just said, Trinity, and what you said just a few minutes ago means more to me than anything else.
Right.
That you've grown to respect me. I
Mhm.
appreciate that. And the reason it took me so long to do you guys' show, y'all had to grow on me because
Right.
when I did the Breakfast Club in 2019, both of y'all had something very negative to say about me
Absolutely.
speaking about who I am and my life. So I blocked y'all asses, real talk.
You did. You
And
blocked. I looked up. I said, "Well, where's
I
she
did.
at?" I said, "Oh, she
And
don't
then
block me."
when you guys interviewed my sister Fantasia Lamore, I unblocked y'all, and I said, well, let me give them a chance. So I've been watching your interviews every week. I
Yes.
appreciate that they're not salacious, they're not mean spirited. They really are genuinely finding out things about people in the community that we probably wouldn't know on a different platform. So
Right.
I'm giving y'all a chance, just like y'all gave me a chance, and I appreciate what you said. Because y'all was gonna never get me. I was like, to hell with them. I don't. I'm a very fair person. I don't like
Yes.
nobody that don't like me.
Right. Well, we'll touch on that later on, but we definitely appreciate you because growth is due to everyone. So definitely that. But before we get into your business,
Oh,
plug April, plug April 21 for us right quick. Tell us what's
so
going on.
so we're having our well, I want to say semi-annual, but I'm gonna try to keep it going every year. We're having our white party Monday, April 21st at the Fantasy Nightclub, 3641 North Halsted. And what it is Continental Time. And anybody who knows me know that Continental is the pageant that I grew up on that I love. It has now been replaced with King and Queen, but I still love the system. So I figured all these girls are in town, all these entertainers, all these male entertainers. You ain't got to fly them in. They already gonna be there. Already gonna have a hotel room. Why not put on a show for the alternatives? Because a lot of things are being given away to people on RuPaul's Drag Race, and we are here. And a lot of people come to Continental and to so many different pageants from everywhere, and they don't always get a chance to see people from everywhere in one time on a show. So I'm like, let's just give them a show. And this is just a different type of show. I got a bunch of national title holders. I have Erica Renee Christian. I got Coco to perform for me. Teresa Griffin is going to show up. It is going to be a night of fun. I'm giving away cash prizes to the best dressed in white. All the tables are sold out. People have really been buying the tables. I appreciate the support. The show is going to be incredible, co-hosted by Trina True Love, the biggest #1 lesbian party thrower right here in Chicago. And we're just going to have a good time. It's just going to be a great time after Elite, because Elite is probably going to be over by about 10:30, because I heard it's only maybe like 15 contestants. But Jim Flint hosted. That's Jim Flint's pageant. And we know Jim Flint is the architect of time. So if y'all ain't on time, he will be. So I expect everybody to be out of there about 10:30, and we need something to do on the Monday night. Why not come hang out with me and all these great entertainers?
Love
Yes.
that.
So you
Support
all
local
go.
drag. Yeah.
Yes, go hang out with Flame in your white, not your eggshell. Not your off-white, not your beige, your white.
You ain't got to be dressed in white if you don't want to be. You just don't want no money.
Right. You want the money. So, okay. So, Flame, take us back. I'm not going to say take us back too many times because we know you're not that old.
Right. I'm only 39.
Right. I knew it. Take us back to before the fame and fortune. What was life for you growing up, your childhood? What were you involved in? Tell us a little bit about that.
I was a mess. Good God, was I a mess. I grew up in Chicago. I'm in Chicago right now. In fact, I'm doing promo on the radio this weekend, a bunch of other things for the White Party. And I grew up, I was born on the west side in Henry Horner Projects, and my mama chasing some penis, moved our ass to the south side when I was about 7. That's just the truth. So I was educated on the project life back then was very different from what it wasn't as violent. Of course, there was bullying, but we played games. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have the internet. So we actually interacted with each other. I used to jump double dutch. I used to play catch a girl, kiss a girl. I used to play football with the boys. I used to play tag. By the way, when I played catch a girl, kiss a girl, I always was the girl. And if you was ugly, I was Flojo. But if you was cute, I was like a blonde bitch in the movie. I kept falling. You was gonna catch me. But that was a different time. We played softball. We kids then, and I love to see it now when I see kids actually outside, not on their apparatuses, but playing with each other, which is why I moved my children to California, because I wanted them to have the beach life. I wanted them to have that sunny life as opposed to growing up in Chicago. But I was just a really regular kid. I was in the band in high school. I was all city. I was first chair band, second chair orchestra for playing the oboe. I had a 4-year scholarship to college. I didn't take it. I put on a dress and a wig, and then life was over. And I was just a really regular kid. I was, with my mom and my brothers.
Were you always comedic though, or did that come later?
I was always, when we were kids, we played the dozens. We joned on each other. Right. And I wasn't the greatest fighter. I whooped a couple of asses in my day, but because I was so feminine, I was so Miss Marcus. That's what they call me, Miss Marcus. And so I had to be good at it, and I was just really good at that. And then we would do it in class. And then when I was in the band, we used to play this game in high school. I graduated from CVS. I was in the band for all 4 years. And we played this game called Beat Your Coochie. And I was really good at this game, It's called Beat Your Coochie. My name is Flame. My claim to fame is my name. That's why you call me Flame. Beat Your Coochie. So I was really good at that. And it was just, what it was, that the boys and the girls accepted me from who I was because I accepted me for who I was.
Okay. So in that, because you said you were feminine, Miss Marcus, Beat Your Coochie, how was your family dynamic with accepting you?
Like any other classically Black family growing up in the 70s, the church, the religion, this, that, you're a sin, you're an abomination. My mother was completely against me being gay, but when I said trans, she was like, if you don't knock it the fuck off. But she had to come around. Because every time she looks at me, she looks at her. Just like every time I look in the mirror, I see Valerie. Like most trans girls do. We see our mothers because most of us look just like our damn mamas when we dressed up. But let me tell you about the Black church, a church period, with the whole abomination, you're less than. You grow up and they instill that in you. And what you are is an empty vessel. That's what everybody is. The ability that you have to let people pour into you what they want to pour. So you can allow people to pour hate and anger and rage and race and bitterness in you, or you can allow people to pour joy and love and acceptance and wholeness in you. I was afforded that. My mother and them poured that into me when I was young. But then the religion sent me to the streets. But my love of who I am and the love of God brought me to find out this is where you belong, and you're all right being just who you are. Religion is a motherfucker. Religion is a motherfucker. Mm-hmm. But to find out who you are and find that love and joy of who you are, and don't care what somebody else think about you, because their thought process, if people only understood that it's so much harder to think than it is to judge. That's why people don't think. They just judge other people by what they hear from someone else. And I know I'm judged by a lot of people because they think they know me, but you really don't. Wow. But the religion will do a number on you internally in your heart, because they'll tell you, gay is an abomination. Laying down with another man is the biggest sin. When hell, look at TD Jakes' church. They over there swallowing. So that's not exactly what it is. I'm just gonna call the shit out because that's what it is. But when you find you, when your sense of self kicks in and you are so pleased with you and who you are, I'm telling you, it's a different place. It is a very special place that a lot of people will never achieve.
Right. Because religion was so harsh or what have you in your younger years, now how are you accepting it? Are you back in the church or you just have your own relationship and that's just how you
Oh, me and God cool as a fan. That is my dude and I'm his. And when I say that, I mean it, that I talk to God just like I'm talking to y'all. Dude, what in the hell is happening right now? You know, because I have 3 teenage, well, I got 2 grown-ups and a teenage. And believe me, they regular American kids, and we go through the drama. I go through the drama with my children, so I have to continually stay prayed up. So with all the church folks put on us, the negativity, still when you read the word and when you find out that there is a higher power, there is a God, that always is in you. So no matter where you go, that will always be in you, which is then you find your way back to that. So I found my way back to religion. So I always acknowledge the Lord. I've always talked to God. I have the same prayer I have said before I enter a stage every day for 35 years. Every time before I go on stage, whether it's drag, stand up, I'm hosting, I have the exact same prayer, which is I have a friend who always hears each prayer that I may pray and walks in silence with me each step along life's way. You never fail to comfort me, Father, when things don't turn out right, and I can always count on you in day or darkest night. Your hand is always here in mine to guide me lest I stray, to pick me up if I should fall and help me find my way. And every day that dawns for me is just the way you plan down life's path together with you, Father, hand in hand. If I had $1 for every time I have repeated that prayer in my life, I would probably be a billionaire.
because you don't hit a lot of stages.
I love that.
Absolutely.
King, you got anything, King?
Well, just on the religion part. So, do you find it different now, or do you think it's just as bad or worse as far as the impression that religion leaves on not just LGBTQ people, but just people in general?
Oh yeah, people commit suicide behind what somebody tells them that they're right or wrong because of
Yeah.
what a church folks say, because of what a group of people. If you allow any group, organization, or community to dictate who you are, you will be a lost soul for the rest of your life.
Right.
You
That makes
don't
sense.
get you don't get to tell me what is right or wrong for me. It may not be right for you. I'm not going to tell you what is right or wrong for you. I'm going to sit back and look like everybody else and eat my popcorn. And if I'm with my girlfriends, we're going to read. And if I agree with it, if nobody else agrees with it, and I agree with it, I'm going to say, listen, I understand exactly what you're saying. Because I see people. I don't see LGB or white or black. I see the colors. I know who you are. I respect your culture. But I also see your heart. Because somebody else don't like you, I'm not gonna prejudge you until you cross me, and then I'm like, I don't like that bitch either. But until then, we cool.
Right. So you said you got a 4-year scholarship, but you decided to put on dresses. So tell us
Girl.
how you were introduced to entertaining, drag, or what all
So at 19, I went to a club here in Chicago. The address is 436 North Clark. And I ain't even got to tell y'all what it is because you already know that address. It's legendary in this community.
Right.
And it was the world famous Baton Show Lounge.
Okay.
And in that time, I ain't gonna tell y'all the year, but the cast was my drag mama, who's the greatest Whitney Houston impersonator in the world to me, Sherry Payne, even though I think Nicole is now, but Sherry had her time. Kelly Lauren, Shantae, Leslie Reginae, Chili Pepper, and this guy named Orlando, and Roski Fernandez. And I was like, I saw a show. I saw the greatest show on earth. Kelly Lauren came out first out the chute in a pair of 6-inch heels and did a broken neck spin for 3 minutes. Sherry Payne came out. I thought Whitney Houston was on the stage for real. This is how mesmerizing I was. And Shantae was always that actress. She's now Alexandra Billings. The show was so phenomenal. The production numbers were phenomenal. They spent money on the costumes. I was in awe. Like, it made me want to be this entertainer. It made me want to be a girl. It made me want to be a queen because I seen a great show. I'm not saying that they don't have great shows now, and the cast on that baton has changed a lot. It's not nothing like it used to be. And that's not, I'm not saying that in a negative or a positive way, but for what I saw, it made me want to be the entertainer I am and the girl that I am. But to me now, drag has took a different direction. because I wanted to be a female impersonator. The Baton's mantra is the what is it? Not the greatest show in the world. What is it called? The Tops of the Nation Review. And it really was. It really is. And it was the Tops of the Nation Review at the time. And Jim Flint was a monster. Jim Flint was a nightmare to work for. He was a nightmare to be around. He was rude. He was ridiculously mean to people. He was. But Jim Flint and I bumped heads like this. But what Jim Flint always had to me was an eye to see in you what you didn't see in yourself. Because I was ratchet, loud, I was Flame Monroe, I was me. But he saw something in me and he took a chance and hired me. And Jim Flint, if I learned nothing else from working at the Baton Show Lounge and being around that man is the architect of time. I was on time for y'all too. I just streamed y'all was giving me the blues. I am on time for everything now because of Jim Flint. But that was the show that, you know how they say you covet what you see every day? What you see when I was a host, my era here in Chicago, which was from 91 maybe to 2002, when I hosted everything, I did the radio. The girls that came up under me, I was their muse. So they became girls. They became pageant winners, national title holders, TV, all of this they did because they saw me. And I'm not saying that I was the prettiest one, but I was always dressed. I always had a show. I was always professional. I always made sure that the girls got paid. So if now some of these entertainers that you see, some of these people that run certain cities, I ain't gonna name no names, Chicago, and if that's what they see, then that's what they become to be. None of the girls who came up under me wanted to be clowns or freaks or fools. They wanted to be great entertainers and turned out to be great entertainers. I may never get the accolades because most of them we don't speak no more any damn way, and I may never get the homage, but they know that bitch trained me well.
You know, Chicago was noted as the glamour city when it came to the female impersonators. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree. Not only do I agree, I believe I had a hand in it. The dresses that the Toni Braxtons and the Lil Kims and all these young girls are wearing now, we wore those in 91, 92. They might have been sleeking it and stretched, but we still had all those cuts and everything. And then I had a body to wear them. The body got old now. It hit different.
Right.
But we weren't very, and we were and you know, Atlanta is the drag mecca. Atlanta and Texas to me, and Florida at one time was the drag. But Chicago was, we had the glamorous girls. We had the Sasha Valentinos and the Casey Quartermains. We had the Victoria LePages. We had all the glamour. So, but then everybody moved away. We had Amelia Black. Everybody moved away.
Right. How did you come up with Flame Monroe, or did you come up with it, or someone gave it to you?
Oh, absolutely. So, when I was in high school, I always dyed my hair Miss Clairol 33R, and it was called Flame. And I never thought that would be my drag number, but I thought it was so different. Nobody else was named Flame at the time. It's about 10,000 damn Flames now. And Monroe was because I was just such an admirer of Marilyn Monroe. I have Marilyn Monroe everywhere in my house. I'm a Dorothy Dandridge fan and a Diane Carroll fan to the death. But Marilyn Monroe was just always that girl to me. And I was like, oh, I want to be sexy. I want to be like her. So that's how I came up with the name.
See, we have comments because I have her all over my house too. So see, we have more comments.
Brilliant minds.
Yes. Talk to us about, you said Sherry Payne was your mother, but also a lot of people don't know that Chili Pepper was as well. Talk to us about that.
So technically, Chili Pepper was my first original drag mother because the Baton used to do a guest night on Sundays. Anybody come up and you could do enough. I thought you only do one number and leave. I didn't know it was 3 damn shows at the time. So I came in. I had got me a dress from a store called Three Sisters back in the day. I'm telling my age. If y'all old school on here, y'all know. And it was like a little black dress that had the little fufu up under the knees, his T-strap. My arms were strong as guns. I looked like a bodybuilder. I didn't give a damn. I thought I was the #1 stunner. And I did Move You're Stepping on My Heart from the original Broadway Dreamgirls, Jennifer Holliday. It was about 2.5 minutes. But Chili Pepper, I was downstairs, and my biological mother had put some blue eyeshadow on me. Mm-hmm. I ain't frozen. I'm looking at y'all looking at me. And so when I got there, Chili came up front and called me Prita, and she helped me with my makeup. And then Sherry Payne came over and started helping with her. And so Chili was like, "Great, Mary, you're getting on my nerves." So she just walked away. So that's how Sherry Payne became my drag mother. But technically, Chili was my original drag mother, and I loved and missed Chili to death. Chili was a cool old bird. But that's how Chili and Sherry, I met them, and I did my number and I left. And I thought, I did something. I didn't know it was 3 damn shows. I only had one dress and one pair of shoes. And then the next time I did a show, we had a club here called Club Luray. I know everybody got their clubs they grew up on, but Club Luray was the greatest establishment ever known here in Chicago. And my muse at that time was Tasha Thomas, who I patterned myself a lot after with hosting. Now, I'm sorry, that is Diamond on Nasty watching me on live and calling me. Some of y'all really need to take a class. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
We can hear you.
Okay. I went and did, at Club Luray, I did Tina Marie, You Make Love Like Springtime. And Tasha Thomas, who was the host at the time, who was the greatest MC I've ever seen in my whole life, still to this day. She said, what you do, baby? I said, I did Tina Marie. She said, oh, yeah, baby, drag ain't for everybody. Oh, my God, I was devastated. My heart was pissed on and crushed. I said, she ripped my heart. But what she did was to lit a fire up under my ass, because you don't get to tell me who and what I am or am not. So it made me it made me a greater entertainer. It made me come back stronger and stronger, because not only did I have to prove something to Tasha in my heart, I had to prove something to me. And I wish that this younger generation wasn't so sensitive, because if you say something that to like somebody now, you're offending them, or you, oh my God, you're shaming me. No, bad drag is bad drag.
Or you're
from
jealous.
The 70s to now. But you just can't, it's the way that, I could have received that a whole different way. I didn't. It put a fire up under my ass. It made me want to get better.
Because you were talked to like that, and you became the muse for so many of the girls, did you talk to them like that, or did you realize you had to come off differently?
You asking me that?
Well, yes.
Absolutely. To me, and Victoria, Taji, so many girls who came up under my wing that we don't even communicate to this day. And there's no bad blood. Everything is water under the bridge now. But they will let you know. Oh, I was the monster. If you wasn't on time for the show, I'll see you next week. Because to me, that is training you. And look at them now. They're Miss Continental. They're Miss Continental Plus. It's something that I never achieved. I always wanted to be Miss Continental. I worked hard to be Miss Continental too. Still didn't win. But when I watched them win, at the time, none of us I wouldn't speak to them. They would speak to each other. But there was a pride in me and a joy. It was like, yeah, bitch, you had a hand in that. You did that. I patted myself on the back as well as complimented them, because I had a hand in that.
Right. So 4 months at the Baton, what did you do?
Went to jail. Oh. And mind you, I didn't even do nothing. Look. So in 92, Jim Flynn hired me after I made the top 12 in Continental. Now, here's the killing part. Jim Flynn wanted to hire Karine Alexander, who we are playing a tribute to on Monday. He wanted to hire Karine, but Karine was doing some other things at the time, and Jimmy didn't want to deal with that. So I actually got the job by happenstance. But it turned out to be great. He really liked me. I was on probation at the time, and I was dealing with this guy named Larry, my boy, the only boyfriend I ever had. He was a nightmare, but I did love that fool. And I didn't go to parole, and he tricked on me because I wouldn't give him the money. And they came and arrested me on a Thursday, and I got out Saturday morning. And at the time, I only worked Fridays and Sundays. So I only missed one day of work. But Ginger Grant was the show director at the time. May she rest in peace. But Ginger Grant was hell on earth. And I know some of y'all ain't gonna like what I see it, and you know I don't care. But Ginger Grant was, to me, single-handedly, and I love you, Jim Flint, but she single-handedly was the demise of the Baton Show Lounge's star cast, star show, star everything, because her energy was always so downtrodden. And if you didn't kiss her ass, you knew it. And she played a lot of people dirty. She did.
Were you able to make amends or have a good peace with her before she passed, or no?
Oh, we were always copacetic. Let me tell you, I never demand your respect. I command your respect. You will treat me the way I treat me, or I won't deal with you.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So she knew you can't talk to me. Jim Flint learned that. That's why me and Jim Flint are friends to this day. Because there was a time that Jimmy was gonna get dropped on his own stage by Flame Monroe. He'll tell you. But we grew past all of that. Jim Flynn has turned around. I have turned around. We are friends now. We talk on the phone. We communicate. Jim Flynn has a son. We talk about my kids. I talk to him about his kids. We are someplace else. But Ginger always had that level of respect for me because Ginger knew I wasn't going to tolerate that. And we both July cancers, but we were cut from very different cloths. Because I'm not going to tell you behind your back. If I got the problem with you, I can tap you on your shoulders.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, but I think Ginger, and everybody thinks Ginger died from being overweight or this. I think Ginger was heartbroken. Heartbreak is the motherfucker. I've been there, and heartbreak will definitely take you out of here.
Gotcha. Ken, you got anything before I move on?
No.
Okay. So let's get to know you personally. Some of your favorites, the things you like to do. What is your favorite food to eat?
Oh, my favorite. Is it on the plate or on the bed?
Listen,
you asked.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
My favorite. You know what my favorite food is? I love corn on the cob. And I love corn on the cob. And and a steak.
Wow,
I can eat a porterhouse and corn on the cob probably every day.
Do you put butter and all that pepper and salt on yours?
On my corn on the cob?
Yeah.
Just butter and salt.
Okay.
But when I get the Mexican elotes, yeah, I hook it up with mayonnaise and the cheese, all of that.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. Growing up, what was your favorite cereal to eat?
I never was a cereal eater. I wasn't that kid. I like grits and oatmeal, and my mother would buy me Raisin Bran, I eat it out the box, and I eat it out the box to this day.
Okay. Do you like milk? So does it have to do with you not liking milk or anything? Or?
No. I just was I was 70s kid. We didn't cereal. They had cereals, but we were more cream of wheat, oatmeal, grits kids.
Okay. What's your favorite season?
Summer, all day, every day.
So because you could be naked.
I can't get naked anymore, but I like to be very free. I hate all the layers. I love my city, Chicago, but it was always layers: hats, gloves, scarves, shoes, boots. Yeah.
Ooh, yes. Favorite holiday to celebrate besides your birthday?
Oh, it has to be Christmas with my children.
Okay. All right. That's nice. 3 things that you know you can work on about yourself personally.
That's the answer.
Okay.
That went over some heads, but we got it.
You know what? Let me tell you. I wish that I didn't wear my truth on my face. Because you know how somebody asks you something sometimes and you really don't want to answer, but then your face be like, and then you be like, oh yeah, bitch, I get it. I wish I didn't wear my truth on my face. I wish that my ability to accept mistakes from other people was not so in your face, if you understand that. And the only third thing is I wish that I had more money when my children were younger so that I could have let them experience more things on a different level, because I struggled for years with my children until Netflix.
Gotcha. Okay. Those are definitely 3 good things. Because everyone knows you as perceives you as this strong in your face type of person. And some people may equate that to she doesn't have feelings or, she doesn't cry. But what makes Flame cry?
Anything that affects my children. And people don't understand that when I stopped living as a woman, when I had my children, because I knew how other kids were. I was going part of the PTA. I heard with these other kids, bullying was different with us. We would just fight. These kids with social media and the things that they would say, and the kids would say horrible shit about me. A lot of kids that my kids went to school with had same-sex couple parents. So, a lot of people in the LGBT community don't agree with my ideology, the way I speak, or who I am about me, because I can't speak on your life. I don't know your life, just like that's why you ask me questions about mine. But their children hear that. So their children was friendly or classmates with my kids and would tell my kids horrible things about me. I trained my children like I trained all the girls that came up under me. My children are master manipulators with their mouths and with their thought process. But children are mean. So only things that really affects me, because people used to call me the F word or this and that. And my daughters would get jiggy with it. My son would just be butthurt, but my daughters would get jiggy. And I'm like, you got to let that go. I didn't know nothing about that until you told me. I don't know them people. That doesn't bother me. Did that stop your gains from coming in this week? Did that stop us from having dinner on the table? That is so unimportant to me. Words have power over you if you give them power over you. I grew up sticks and stones will break my bones, but my bullet would, but you know the rest.
Yes, yes, we know the rest.
Ha!
What's
Don't
your
you?
favorite? What's your favorite pastime?
Laying up with my dog surrounding me in the bed, laid up next to LB, and we watching a black and white movie. I love to watch The Invisible Man. I can watch The Invisible Man every night.
Okay.
Wow.
Do you have a favorite color that makes you smile?
Chocolate.
Oh, okay. Do you eat chocolate? If you do, what's your favorite candy bar?
On a plate or off.
What you say?
Baby,
Flame with the
we don't need
veins
to ask
shot.
nothing about food no more.
Okay. Favorite candy bar is definitely a Snickers.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You
Snickers.
know something about those peanuts, and you know
those
I
veins.
want to talk about Wendell.
Growing up as a 70s kid, who did you like to listen to? Who are your favorite artists?
Oh my God. Because I was in the band, I've always been like a music connoisseur. I probably should have been a DJ. So I loved the first record I ever purchased with my own allowance was the song I Think I Love You. So what am I so afraid of?
Okay.
I think that is from the Partridge Family.
Mm.
And I just love it because I'm from Chicago. My mother, just like most black mothers, on Saturday mornings was cleanup. So she would play Gladys Knight, Aretha Franklin, Frankie Beverly, the Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind, and Fire. And we had to clean up. And so my joke on stage, I talk about the reason these kids music, they don't know all the music because y'all have CDs or now y'all just have the computer. So I only want to hit track 2, 3, 5, and 6. We didn't have that luxury because when you washing walls and scrubbing floors, you had to put the arm on the record and you wasn't going to stop your flow of scrubbing to go change it. So that's how you learn the entire album. And then when you flipped it over, you learned the entire other side because you was cleaning. Not now. Now everything is moves
What
really
do you think
fast.
it is about the Saturdays and cleaning? Because every black family, no matter where you are, what city, you had to clean up on Saturday morning listening to the old school music. What is that about?
I just think it's our culture. I think it's the black culture. Listen, I passed it down to my children. Not that they clean. I got a damn cleaning service. These kids don't clean. But I think that's just our culture. And I think that you learn so many things about your parents and them about you because while you were cleaning, you had a real black mama. She came behind you, and if you didn't do it right, if she had one spot, you had to do the whole thing all over again.
Yes,
I had that mama. But a lot of these kids, they have no follow up because their parents don't have a follow up. My kids don't clean well, so I have a cleaning service. But I think that's our culture. We would bond together. We would eat together. Your family would talk. You would watch your mom dance to the music. So it made you dance to the music. We learned so much from our elders. Unfortunately, this younger generation seems to discard the elders because we become invisible to them.
What's your passion in life?
To make people fall out. I love to upset and excite a room. I just came from Texas. I did 3 cities in Texas. I'm on tour right now currently with Tiffany Haddish on the Funny and Fearless tour. And we did San Antonio, Houston, and Austin. This was a red state. 2 weeks ago, we were in Tennessee, a red state. A week before that, we were in South Carolina and North Carolina, red states. Hear me when I tell you, so many MAGAs, so many Republicans in the audience with their hats on and everything were blew out the water by me on stage telling jokes and making them feel so welcome that after the show, so many Trump supporters, and I'm being out Republicans because I'm not a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I voted for her, would come up to me and say, I've never seen somebody like you. What I thought of a trans person, you kind of changed my mind because I always do politics on stage. That is what I do. And but I don't talk about Trump's political shit. I talk about him playing golf, being fat, wearing tighty whities, liking to grab women by the coo, stuff like that they can relate to, and I make it fun. And if I'm changing one person's mind or ideology of me as a trans person, maybe the next trans person they meet, they'll be like, you know what? That one was cool. This one might be cool too, because the hate is truly coming from the top. I was just on the plane with 15 mega gas. They all had their hats on. And it was one of those smaller planes, Wendell and Trinity. So when I got on, I was like, if anytime a black bitch needed to sit on the back of the bus, this would be the day. Of course, they set my punk ass right in the middle of all those mega gas. And y'all know I don't travel with no makeup on. Y'all know what I look like with my hat and my glasses on. But I had on these green fingernails. So they set me next to the mega guys right in the middle of, and the big one, I guess he was the leader. He looked at me up and down. He says, how you doing, buddy? I says, I'm fine. How are you? He says, where you going? I said, well, I hope I'm going to Knoxville. I don't think this plane making those stops in between. So he laughed. He says, what do you do? I said, I'm an entertainer. So I said, what you do? He says, I'm in construction. I said, okay. He says, what kind of entertainer are you? I said, I'm a comedian. He said, tell me a joke. I said, well, the mere fact that it's 15 megagas here and I'm a black trans woman sitting here having a conversation with y'all, nigga, it don't get no funnier than that. Understand me that they fell out laughing,
Right.
and we had a conversation the entire 50 minutes on that plane, just talking to each other. This is why I'm saying Americans actually see each other, but the hate is coming from the top. And in the difference of the situation, me and those guys probably would have never got along. It would have been completely different. But we were on a plane, we were all going to a destination, and we were just having a conversation, never about politics. And we gelled. That's what I'm saying. People see each other if they want to. Racism is learned and taught. It ain't for real.
Flame, are you dating or in a relationship?
Girl, don't ask me my personal business, Miss Trinity. I don't like you like that yet. I am in a place that I've never been in a relationship in my life. LB is my everything. I ain't gonna say my partner because we don't put those titles on each other. Mm-hmm. But LB came in my life for a weekend 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And still here, dealing with my shit. And we get along famously. If I was LB, I would have left me a long time ago. Because my children gave LB hell. My daughters did not want me to be with anyone. They wanted me to just be home by myself all day with a toy. Get you a blow up down. We don't want nobody up in here. And she put up with a lot of stuff from my children. A lot of stuff. And you know, I pick my kids always first. I am that parent. I pick my kids over everybody. Right. But then it came a time when I had to pick my happiness with LB because my daughters would have chased LB away. And one day, me and my daughters headed out in front of LB, and I let them know, okay, y'all can pack y'all shit because LB ain't going nowhere.
Let's talk about your children because I find it so beautiful how every interview you do, you bring them up, you talk about how you're in their life. Tell me, if you could describe all three collectively in one word, what would it be?
Mo, Larry, and Curly. No, you know what? I have raised monsters, and I'm proud to say that. And when I say that, my children, my oldest son, who's the oldest, my son is a complete polar opposite of me. He's a Capricorn. He keeps his temperament. He is not confrontational. He is not argumentative, but he will debate the hell out of you. And he is exceptionally intelligent. He graduated from a school in California, which called Sato, which was the #3 high school in the country for science and engineering. He got a 4-year scholarship, fully paid to Tennessee State University. He went one semester and hated it. Mm-hmm. And he is just a brilliant kid, but he has learned so many life lessons from me as his dad, because I don't care what I present. I am his dad. And he needed a man in his life. And I'm a trans woman, but when he need dad is there. And he always says, because one lesson I've taught him since he was a kid was, what makes a man? And he always would say, makes a man, the making of a man is being responsible. Because I've always taught him, you got to be responsible. You do some wrong shit, you got to be responsible. You do some right shit, be responsible. But you got to be responsible. And he is just the coolest kid. My middle daughter, Izzy, is a rock. But Izzy is a free spirit and an artist. And she writes fantastically. But Izzy is finding her own way in life right now. And my baby girl is me with a coochie. That's if that don't explain it, there you go. Because I am a Frankenstein. You know, the moral of Frankenstein, everybody think Frankenstein was a monster. Frankenstein was never the monster. Frankenstein created the monster and didn't want to face the demon that he created. When I tell you this 18-year-old of mine is me and will challenge me and give it back to me, girl, if you ever catch me on the news, trans woman chokes our daughter, you ain't even got to look up the name. It's me.
What does life, or what do you think life looks like when they're gone, when you're an empty nester?
Well, you have to remember, I was an empty nester for 37 years before they came.
Okay.
So I was already Flame Monroe. I was on the radio. I was doing stand-up. Okay. And then I fell in love and had babies.
Okay.
And Liz, you know, I always wanted my own family. And what my children are, and they are regular kids. I don't think our house is always a happy home. We go back and forth, we go up and down, but it is always their welcome place. They always got their own rooms. They always know that you can always come home. Even if you ain't speaking to me, you can come home. Mm-hmm. But I wanted somebody who authentically and genuinely loved me. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say that I didn't get love from friends and from the community, but I watched the community. My community that, I'm good with some, I'm not good with others. But I watched the community build you up to take it away. That's giving away your power. I watched them love on Jasmine Bonet, love on this person, love on that person. And then this person lose after they done won 50 national titles. They lose one pageant. And all of a sudden, they horrible. They're the worst. You forget their whole legacy and what they have accomplished and brought to this industry because of one loss. Right. Don't give nobody that much power over you ever. That's what that taught me. You ain't got no power over me. You can only have what I'm going to give you, and I ain't giving you shit.
Well, from me to you, and I'm sure Wendell will agree, and other people that are watching, we appreciate you being a great parent to your children. So many parents are not ready to be parents, and so many children lack that. But we see it through you. You are always talking about them, and I know that house is fun over there. I know.
Absolutely not. What y'all don't know about me is I am polar opposites when I'm not working. I am kicked back in my jogging pants and my t-shirt, no drawers, and my scarf and my hat, and I'm good with the day. That is when but I'm always writing. I'm always writing new stuff because the world is ever changing, and because politics is, and I teach my kids politics because I think that's where we lost as a Black generation. Politics was never interesting to us. Politics wasn't interesting to me when I was a kid. You know what made me interested in politics? Bill Clinton's second term. Mm-hmm. Not the first one, the second one.
Right.
It was something about a blue dress in the Oval Office with that stain on it. That turned me the fuck on. I ain't gonna even lie. And I really got into politics then. And so I teach my kids the importance of. We have made videos because as soon as my kids turn 18, you're going to vote. You're going to vote. Yeah. I made it important to them because my grandmother made it important to me. Mm-hmm. So, but I didn't even vote. I never voted until the first time I ever voted was Barack Obama. That was the first time I ever voted my whole life.
Wow. How did you feel when you finally voted?
I felt grown.
Okay.
I felt grown up. Like I did something that grown-ups do. Because when in my era, and so many of these young kids say the same thing now, even with this fool in office, that, it's not going to affect me. It's not important to me. I don't care about that. Woo, woo, woo. I'm going to do a show. I ain't going to vote. But now it's in your face because we have social media and we have so many different outlets that we can get information from, that you find out that the world is very dark. The world is exceptionally dark. So be a light to somebody, be something to somebody, but mostly be something to yourself.
Right. Okay, so before we play the game, we do the game. I want to touch on just a little bit because, like you said earlier, we don't do salacious. We don't do the mess. We want to.
But they want you to ask me the juicy questions, so don't play with me.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Okay, at the top of the hour, I told you that I had to learn and gain so much respect for you because I get this thing where now I say, what you eat don't make me shit, and you had a time period where you did a lot of press and you went on different shows, Breakfast Club, Tasha K, things of that nature. And there were some things that you stated that were offensive to some, that were harsh, that were maybe some truths, that a lot of the girls and a lot of the community backed away from you or they felt a certain way about you, ostracized you in some ways to this day. You said you said a little bit on Braxton's show how some of the girls just walked by you. A lot of us, I.e. including Wendell, felt like you had become, and this is just us talking, Flam, but you had become a puppet. Oh, yeah. You had become this person that T.S. Madison, Laverne, Hope Giselle were doing all this work to gain the respect. And here comes that one person that was total opposite of what they were doing. To now they can sit back and say, see, we told y'all they confused. We told y'all they ain't really no women. We told y'all the ones that went had the sex change and it don't work and all of this stuff. And for me, I said and I heard, I was like, dang, what's the issue? She hurt? Did somebody do something to her? My only question is, why? What was the point and purpose of those interviews and those conversations about the community that at one time you loved, embraced you, or we still to this day like you? What was the point and purpose? I think that's the question a lot of people really want to know.
I never had a point or a purpose. And no, I was not a puppet. What it was they asked me about me. So let me break it down for you. I was never hurt by my community. I was hurt by my community, but I was never broken by my community. Let me say that. And it started with the Black community, not even with the white community. When I did Comic View in 2005, because the first time I did it in 2004 was with Ricky Smiley.
Right.
Cheryl Underwood and I had words on the show. So what y'all saw, y'all didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. She was being a bitch to everybody. She was exceptionally rude. I heard the F word and everything else. So, and she was roasting these comics as they came off. Me being who I was, I'm like, well, shit, if you're going to punch me in the face, let me strike first. So I called her Wesley Snipes, and she came out there and she went crazy and she started crying. And when I tell you the Black gay community turned on me like you were supposed to be happy that one of us got on TV and was doing this, but they turned on me like I had attacked this woman, but they weren't there behind the scenes, so they didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And I didn't try to explain it because at the time, we had MySpace. So I didn't try to explain that. I just kept working. So everybody thought that was a downfall in my career, but nothing could have been further from the truth. My phone blew crazy, but what happened was I was going through a broken heart behind my baby mama. So I really didn't have the capacity to go to work. That heart was not aligned with that mind. And if you're a live entertainer, you got to be in tune or shit just don't work, especially if you do stand-up. And it was never about that with the community. They asked me how I wanted to feel about me. Let me tell you, let me just give you a situation that happened. So when Tiffany had me do They Ready, we had other producer on the show, a lesbian woman. I'm not gonna say her name, y'all know her. And she told Tiffany Haddish that I didn't have what it took to be on this show. So Tiffany was going to replace me just because of what this woman said, because what she kept doing was taking me to these white gay clubs. It was not a comedy club. It was a white gay club where any gay person or anybody can come just get on the mic. So, if you on the mic and you give a one good one-liner, automatically you the greatest host, you the funniest person in the world. And all these comics got up there and all they talked about was eating butt, eating butt, eating butt. So I turned to her. I said, "Oh, this ain't my arena. This ain't my. This is not my audience." She said, "You got to prove it. That you can work anywhere." I said, "Girl, this is not my audience." So I went on stage in this room full of gays, mostly white gays, and I said, "Well, what's the flip side of eating booty? Hepatitis C." Oh my God, they hated me. And so she told Tiff, and she was very adamant trying to get me pulled out the show. Now, the kickback in her face was my episode out of all 12 of the 2 seasons was the only one to get nominated for an Emmy. I lost to Eddie Murphy. So when it blew back in her face, she resented me since then and cost me a lot of work because I didn't prove a point to her. Again, I proved it to me. I did it the way I wanted to do it. She wanted me to do it a different way. It wasn't going to work for me that way. I don't come out and talk about my kids. Who's going to believe? You've never seen somebody like me. You know the scandalous dresses I wear, and I put on my heels. I'm 6 feet tall because I want to be tall on stage. And I come out talking about I'm somebody's daddy. I use politics first to bring you in to let you know I'm human. I'm just like you. I vote. The same shit that affects you affects me. So I always do with the politics. But she really wanted me removed. And as far as me speaking, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I was in the room when they say, why did I change or was I pandering to the straight folks? No, I wasn't. Because I've been in the comedy rooms 30 years ago when we weren't supposed to even be in their clubs. There was no RuPaul's Drag Race. There was no transparency of trans on TV. I was doing what I wanted to do. I took all the name calling. I took all the fights. I took all the ridicule and the ostracization from the other comedians mostly and from the people in the audience because that was what I wanted to do. So I was like, you can't break me. None of this shit affects me. And they weren't there. But now, because of the comedian I was 30 years ago and who I've always been, you don't have to do the alternative nights. You don't have to do the trans night. You don't have to do the white night or the black night or the gay night. You can just show up as long as you be funny. They were not there to support me when I was there. And these guys, just like I said, I never demand your respect. The Corey Holcombs and the Dave Chappelles and the Jerry Seinfelds and Billy Crystal, who I mean, these people respect me because I allowed it to happen organically. I ain't forced my way in. I ain't kicked the door open and say I'm trans. You got to give me. I proved myself through my talent every time I
Right.
got on that stage, and was always me, no matter who was around. When you know somebody don't gel with you, you can feel their energy because energy is transferable. I watched them chase a lot of male comedians out the game. You can't chase me out of some shit that's instilled in me. And again, with the trend, especially with some of these younger, angry trans, I mean, you mad at the wrong person because being trans is not on you. It is not on your skin. It's not in your wig. It's not in your glasses or your high heels. It's in here.
Mhm. Okay.
But a lot of them don't know that because they see some shit on the internet and this is who they wanted to be. This is, oh, I want to do this because she's making money. And I'm not saying that they don't have trans kids, and I'm not saying that I don't agree with this, that, and the third. But as a parent, I parent my children. And when they become a certain age, the things that I want them to do, then you're grown enough to do it. But as a parent, I parent my children. And if you don't have children, I don't think that you will understand that. I
Right.
think a lot of people pass judgment on things that because what you see on the outside looking in, you got to live in those shoes. You got to live in that space to understand it. And I think what the Republicans did, because I was in the room to hear the shit that they said about us. And when I said on the Breakfast Club in 2019, which came out to completely be true, Donald Trump is trying to erase the trans community. I don't know what his hangup is, but I saw that because I was in the rooms. I would hear the conversations, but I was sitting in the corner, invisible, like I didn't hear it, paying attention. Like I'm gonna get this information out to my people. It's just the way that I relay things sometimes, or things I convey it. People think I'm angry. They think I'm mad. I know, bitch. I am honest. Fucking with me, you're gonna think you in court because you're gonna get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Right.
You just not may like the way the messenger says it, or you what it is. You just don't like the messenger. But I'm telling you, I saw that stuff, and they used everything that we were saying with the sports, with us wanting to be on the tampon box, and And let me tell you the irony of some of the trans women that don't like me, that work for the organizations, and woo woo woo. Since we doing it, God damn it, let's do it.
Do it.
You love to push the narrative. I'm trans this. You carry the flag. You work for the trans organization. But then you feel ashamed to be called a trans woman. Make that make sense to yourself because it don't make sense to nobody else. It don't make sense to nobody else. Don't push a trans narrative, but then don't want to be called trans. Bitch, who you playing with? Who you playing with? Because I know who I am. I'm proud of what I am. I'm proud of who you are. I just want you to find you.
So I wanted to ask a question though.
She
Like
probably
looking back at, I'll just use two of them, Charlemagne and Don Lemon. When you look back at the interview and you think about the way some of the questions were posed, do you think that they may have intentionally used your words to weaponize it against other people who felt differently?
No, because I was just being authentically and honestly me. When
No.
I say that Republicans they use the narratives that we push. Think about all the rights that we were afforded. And I said this on the Breakfast Club. We never used trans women in big heads of states. We finally got one, Sarah McBride. Look how they're treating her.
Mhm.
But we never use them for our health care, for our housing. It's always a gay man that looks like you, Wendell, that has to speak for us. And when we do get some of the trans women in those positions, not all, because we do have some great ones. That Dr. Tatiana Moten is a great one. Even Tatiana Braxton, when we don't always see eye to eye on everything, but I think she's a great one because she's in the battle and the fight. When we do get some of those opportunities, they got other ones that steal all the money. Look at the one in Kentucky that stole all the money. So we get, all it takes is one to make a bad rep. Don't make me that one, because I was always the advocate for my trans sisters. Whether we was doing drag shows, I boycotted the shows.
Mhm.
I did the walkouts, but they don't know that about me. They know this about me, and I don't speak what they speak, and I'm not going to speak for them, and I'm not going to speak about them. I'm going to speak about me.
Okay.
But they don't
But
know how to intake that.
But I'm looking at it through the context of, first off, we know that you lived a different life than
No, I
most
didn't. I
trans
lived
women.
just like the other girls
No,
did. I
no.
was a
Well, I
girl.
mean, when I'm saying that, I'm saying you have children that you're raising, that you present yourself in a particular way, and at the same time, you, as you said, you were yourself 37 years before, they even you even went into that segment of life. So your experiences are a lot different than a 22-year-old today trans person. So when I say, do you feel like looking back in hindsight that they weaponized it? I'm gonna use Charlemagne specifically because maybe a month after your interview, he was doing another interview with someone, and he referenced you several
Mhm.
times, things that you said, and he misreferenced it because
Mhm.
he didn't frame it the way you all were
You was
talking.
talking.
So when I
I wasn't the first person Charlemagne misreferenced. Y'all know that.
Oh
Y'all
no,
watch the
no,
show.
I'm very aware, but I'm saying that do you think that they played a part in the way people may have misunderstood you? Because Charlemagne specifically referenced you several times, and it was wrong. He did not reference it correctly because he didn't frame it the way he didn't use it in the same context that you were that you were speaking in. But he
Yeah.
still used your name as well. Flame Monroe was on our show, and she said. And I think that that is a part
As
of
if
the
you were the
reason that people
spokesperson for
misunderstood you.
whatever.
And I think that that played a part in how people walked
Charlemagne is
off.
the greatest antagonist on the internet. Y'all
Yes,
got to that's one thing
yes,
you got to know. And that is his job.
yes.
In fact, what y'all did know, the first time I did the Breakfast Club, the interview that caused all the shit with the yellow on, was he hired me right after that interview. He hired me right after that interview, which is what I'm on my 5th year of my podcast, Laugh and Learn. Thank you, Jesus. We just re-signed for season 5. But Charlemagne was like, Flame, I could just talk to you. And I knew what that was going to do. I didn't know it was going to get so much backlash and BS, people making videos acting a damn donkey. But again, what you allow people to pour into you is on you. I'm
Hmm.
only speaking for me. And I should have been a little more clear on that. But you have to remember, there were 3 people talking to me, plus the producer, all at the same time. So I'm trying, and this is my first time on the show. So I had a little nerves. And I don't think that I misspoke because everything I said, I stand on.
Right.
Everything that I said, I stand on. But I may not have given it out the way that it was nicer
Okay.
towards the community because
Right.
it's coming at me. And I'm trying to catch everything because I had a purpose of going to the Breakfast Club that time was to get the job. Because what they did, y'all didn't know, is they denied me 3 times. They turned me down. They didn't even want me on the show until I got nominated for the Emmy on They Ready. And Ida Rodriguez was like, you got to get my girl Flame on here because Charlamagne thought I was coming on to be combative with him and argumentative.
Right.
I am the cool. Listen, all the kids call me auntie now, and I remind them all the time, I'm auntie, but I do uncle shit. And for a lot of the girls that be coming at me, I'm gonna give you a prime example. Giselle Bobby Royale, who happens to be one of my personal favorites as far as entertainment. She and I had a big brouhaha about 4 years ago because of the way I speak about who I am and what I see. We sat down and talked it out. She said I had a responsibility. I said I didn't want that job. That's because you got to stop thinking that because a person is from a certain community and gets a little shine, that they are automatically the spokesperson for everybody. I just don't find that to be true. Laverne Cox got all the shine, but Laverne Cox said something that just didn't sit well with me as a parent or as a trans woman. She said I was born and the doctors assigned me male. If you was born with a penis and a testicles, what else was they gonna call you? That's my question to y'all. Because here's the thing. Think about it's coming from me as an adult. Think about what that did to a 4-year-old or 5-year-old. Because when you come out your mama, when the doctor slap you on your behind, you do the same thing that every other kid do. You scream. I wish they would have pushed the narrative, but what the luxury and the beautiful part about being an American trans person is you live in a country where you can have the freedom, if you have the wherewithal and the due diligence, you have the opportunity to be whoever you want to be and live freely. Unfortunately, now we voted wrong, and that's being stripped away from us every
Yeah.
day, which is why I saw that. I was trying to convey that. It may not have came across because I'm from Chicago. We talk with aggression. We talk real forceful. And that's just the way I speak. And a lot of people misinterpreted it and took it the wrong way. And I'm telling you, they tried to force me into early retirement. My sister Coco Van Cartier was a smart bitch and had me invest my money in Moderna.
you know, just before we move from this, though, my friend Dr. Carter, Dr. Cheryl Carter, she told me once, and this isn't advice. I'm just saying this is something that I had to work with. She told me that we don't get to choose who we're going to be a role model to. That was the first thing. She said that we don't get to choose that the person who looks up to us chooses us. We don't choose them. But she told me that on my social media, I would come across sometimes as anti-LGBTQ. because of some of my experiences, because our views are shaped off of our own experiences. And so she felt like some of my views that I was putting out there came across as anti. So what she told me to practice on is practice on making sure I cushion the message so that it's not lost. And I think that with you, I used to tell people all the time, because I had the luxury of meeting you when I was only 16, when you lived in Houston for a short time. And so that's when, so the Flame I knew was not the Flame that they knew. The Flame I knew, I used to just, I didn't even know the boom pop. I just knew that you were like hilarious and you had a really nice body and you wore a lot of slinky clothes, right? And you were good on the microphone when I would sneak in. But I had an adoration for you. So therefore I could hear you talk and I could hear the things you say, and I understood that it came from your experiences. But some people, they don't have the bandwidth to understand that in real time because their experiences are so opposite. So I think that that is why a lot of people gave you the backlash that they did, is because they were looking at it through their lens rather than understanding that you were speaking from your lens.
Mhm.
So I think that you've now found a happy medium, because when I hear you talk now, Flame, you don't talk the same. You say the same things, but you say it in a more endearing way. And I think that that was what they needed, what they were missing, is
Well,
that.
let me. Well, thank you for that. First of all, Wendell, and I hear that message that she gave you. I never, you've never heard me say cancel one of my sisters. Don't book her. Don't. If it's somebody I don't want to work with, Sophia McIntosh will attest to you because she begged me to do Queen of Comedy for years. And when she told me to line up, I said, "Bitch, I don't fuck with her. I'm not work." That is what I am. I ain't never tried to take, but they wanted to take everything from me. Here's the killing part for me too. So with Dave, because what y'all don't know about Dave Chappelle is a lot of his camp, not most of, but a lot of his camp, gay as a goose. Good God, I tell you, the gays is running rampant in his camp, and he is the coolest dude in the world. So when they asked me on Inside Edition, whatever the show was, and Don Lemon, when I heard what he said, I heard, because as a black person in this country, I choose my black before I choose anything else, because the black chose me. I chose my transism. I chose being a comedian, but my black chose me. So I embrace my black, and I'm not anti anything else. I'm just very proud to be who I am as a black person. So when I heard this, and them going all the hoopla behind that, I listened to that special twice because I was trying to hear it. When I heard him talk about his white trans girlfriend, Daphne, and the love he had for somebody who he didn't understand, who he sat down to have a conversation with, he said she was a lousy comic. But his conversation with her, she changed his mind. She changed his ideology. This is what I'll be doing with the people that I work with. And not even on purpose, just by being me. But my community, I can't speak for everybody. And I don't speak for everybody. And they damn sure don't speak for me. You should speak for yourself. And I understand what you're saying about you have this responsibility, but I don't. I don't. Because I never took it on. I just got an opportunity. And me being who I was and speaking who I was, none of the gay money comes to me. I don't get booked for anything LGBTQ. I ain't never said hurt one of my sisters, block one of my sisters, don't let them do this. I don't care. I can work side by you if under big name, and we don't even speak because your name ain't on my check. But they have a different mindset. Don't let her see. Put her on the back burner. You can't put the flame out. The flame is eternal. It's burning in the Washington Monument right now through the storm, through the goddamn hurricanes. Bitch, I ain't going nowhere because my talent won't allow me to go anywhere. I work in 25,000 seat arenas with Dave Chappelle. That was a milestone for me in my life. That was for me, not for you. You tell me I can't work with you, but then you want to dictate who else I can't work for? Bullshit, me and my kids would have lost our house because you was mad. Hear me? Because you mad. Please.
Well, I am glad that we were able to take the time out to clear that up and to talk about it. And from me to you, genuinely, I was one of those girls that was, girl, what is going on? I want to apologize to you publicly because I posted it publicly. And you blocked me, but I want to apologize to you for not understanding your truth and only wanting to hear it from my standpoint. And that has nothing to do with me. Like I said earlier, what you do has nothing to do with me. It didn't cause me no men. It didn't cause me no jobs, no education.
Yeah.
So from me to you, I apologize if at any point, or not if, but at any point when I did make you feel a type of way about what you were saying for your own life. I want to apologize to you for that. And you know, I embraces you, so I'm not one of them girls that's gonna walk by you. I embrace you.
Thank you. Look, I would have said I would have ran up, but you was a big girl at the time. You'd have dropped me. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked by my story about Giselle. So me and Giselle went back, but now I just saw Giselle at Black America, and we had talked long before then. We really cool. I'm really proud of that young lady. But she was like, Flame, you know, I didn't understand, but Giselle likes what she likes, like I like what I like. And so many of my trans sisters like what I like. But now it's a problem. And I don't want to just say it because then you know what Wendell said, it's the way you say it. I'm trying to say it soft. But that's heterosexual sex all goddamn day. So who you mad at?
Right. You're right. Well, thank you for that, Flame. On a lighter note, we're going to move on to the game. You know how we play. You watch us every week. First word that comes to your mind when I say the name, person, place, or thing, okay? And you can elaborate whatever comes to your mind authentically.
Now, wait a minute, because you know I had a lovely, so be nice.
Oh, so you had the lovely.
I'm going to start easy. My favorite girl in the world, Coco Van Cartier.
Lifesaver. In 2003, I had a 7-month-old and a brand new newborn, and my baby mama left me, and I was broken in so many pieces. I've never gathered them all back, but I had a responsibility of a 7-month-old and a newborn. But my heart was torn every which way but loose. I couldn't get away with the pain. I took pills to go to sleep. I woke up, it was sitting right there. I couldn't get away from it, and I didn't care about my kids. I wanted to end it. I laid in Coco Van Cartier's bed in Vegas, and she wrapped her big arms around me and held me all night and cried with me. I love that woman with everything in my spirit. She saved my life that night, because that night I would have ended myself. I couldn't take the pain. I didn't care about my kids. I love that woman immensely.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Coco, for saving Flame. Number 2.
Yeah, because Netflix would have never got a hold of me if I'd have been gone.
The flame would have went out.
You wouldn't have been listed. Number 2, Otis Mack.
Chicago's Heavy Diva, my partner. You know, I gave him that name, Chicago's Heavy Diva.
Okay.
Me and Otis were a great duo back in Chicago back in the day. Otis was always a cutthroat ass snake. And she know, I tell her that to her face. You know, I don't bite my tongue for nobody. No. But Otis taught me how to get my money. And Otis used to put on great shows. His productions was always great. But Otis is quick-witted and funny and should have been a comedian. But like Sophia, like I always tell you, you got to sit down and write some shit down. You can't just wing the whole show. But now everybody's winging it. So there's a room. But Otis is a great co-host with me, and I'm his great co-host. And we were a dynamic duo for many years here in Chicago. He's my friend. Otis came to see me when I was in the Senate after I got out of prison.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to a Houston legend.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of the state of California?
It's home for my children.
Okay.
I moved there for my children. I'm ready to come back home, y'all. I don't miss the cold weather, but I'm ready to come back home because I don't have any friends in California. I don't have anybody I can go just hang out and kick the bobos with and just, you know, be that girl talk with and woo woo woo. Fantasia's close and we're very close, but Fantasia got her son with her. And sometimes, you know, when you wanted a girl, sometimes you just want to sit and talk to the girls. Right. You don't want the gay boys around. You don't want the husbands around. You just want girl time. So I don't have nobody I can do girl time with in California.
Okay. Number 4, Naisha Dupree.
Big ass. No. Ish is what is the word I want to say? Naisha is like Edison. 40 years ago, we were at a club here in Chicago called Augie CK's, and Naisha felt like the black kids were not getting a fair shake. She went home. She said, I'm going home and create my own pageant. And she damn sure did. And it is going on to this fucking day. And Naisha is such an architect for drag. And you know how I say, y'all say, the way Wendell just said, sometimes it's the way it come out. Naisha is cut and dry with everyone. With everyone, she is cut and dry. You know where you stand. You know who you are. You know what she expects from you. And if you don't get it, she tells you right then in front of everybody. Sometimes jokingly, but it's always a lesson behind what she says. The reason Naisha and I have remained friends for more than 30 years is because she don't ask me to tap dance around her, and I don't. She accepts me for the friend that I am to her, and I accept her for the friend she is to me. And what Naisha and Coco and any of my circle is, because my circle is very small and very tight, like my hole is very small and very tight. My circle are my friends when I'm not in the room. That is what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I love that woman to death because she have molded the shit out those kids, and she got about 10,000 kids and 15,000 grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
But Atlanta would not be Atlanta without Naisha.
Without the
I agree.
Atlanta is the mecca of drag. I said that earlier.
Right. Number 5, I'm gonna take you back. This is when I was first introduced to you. What comes to your mind when you think of the TV show O Drama?
Vanessa Bell Calloway, because she thought I was being rude to her and she slapped me on my ass. I should have sued her for sexual harassment.
I saw that the episode. You had all that body, that blonde hair.
Ooh,
like, okay.
what did I think I was doing? Girl, you couldn't have told
What
me.
is the name of it?
You was doing it. I was like, oh, this is
What is the name of it?
All right.
Oh, Drama. It was on BET.
Drama.
It was a talk show with Kim Whitley and Cheryl Underwood and somebody else and Vanessa Bell Calloway. And it was just a messy show. That's why I met Jamaica's a toy at. But I was young. Listen, I was not the first black girl with a body. The first black girl I saw, because I told you covet what you see, was Paula Sinclair. Paula Sinclair was, oh my God. Now, she wasn't the first body I saw. Chanel Dupree was the first body and Christina D'Angelo. But Paula Sinclair was the first black girl that I seen us. And when that hoe came walking sideways down that Continental runway, the black children lost it because we had one of us standing with them hoes and we admired that crazy woman. She still don't walk straight to this day, but that heifer got to walk on her. We lost our shit because that was our era. You know, we all have somebody we look up to. Paula was the girl. She was the first Barbie doll.
Number 6, Tiffany Haddish.
My lifesaver. When Tiffany went through all her drama with the drinking and the breakups and all the foolishness, Tiffany called me every day and we cried on the phone together. When the community cost me the job on Sherry Shepherd, let me just tell you that, cost me the job on the Breakfast Club because of all the backlash that they had. And I cried to Tiffany Haddish on the phone every day. This is her 4th or 5th tour that I'm always a part of. I worked with Dave Chappelle for 9 arenas, but Tiffany Haddish keep me and my kids fed because she keeps me working. I am her opener because she say, Flame, don't nobody get riled up to where I need them but you. She has been a true friend to me. She has a genuine heart. I wish that she was a mother because she got a lot of love to give to a kid. But since she doesn't have any children, she spreads this love out to all her friends and the people who work for her and her fans. Tiffany is a great egg. I hate that she gets such a bad rap, and her mind is brilliant. That shit y'all see for show. Her business mind, she owns probably about 40 properties because Ellen trained and Oprah trained her well. She has a business savvy mind. She got money coming in. She owns property in other countries. She is a phenomenon with the numbers and the crunch. So understand that the act is the act and the woman is the woman. And I respect and admire the woman.
Good. Number 7, Rayshawn Montrese and the Queen Pageantry System.
The greatest show on earth. I think it's because of that host. They say that host is a mother Hubbard. You know what? I met Rayshawn through Coco. And when Coco asked Rayshawn to have me host the pageant when it originally started, we're on year 7, by the way, this year. December the 13th, I believe, in New Orleans, Louisiana. Ladies and gentlemen, get your tickets. You too can be queen and king. And when he offered me, he asked me if I wanted to host. I said, yep, if you make me the permanent host. And he said, no problem. So we are in year 6, but we did the first 2 years in Indianapolis, and now we're in New Orleans. What I respect and love about Rayshawn, not only is he a true friend, I need him to communicate with a little more with people, but Rayshawn is sure of what he wants. And because he has been a national pageant holder for so many different pageants, he's been on that side. And now he's on the business side of owning a pageant. He does something for pageant systems that they don't do anymore. He gives back to the contestants.
Yes.
Everything is not you're not cattle. You're not a number. You're actually a contestant. So Maybe I think some of the dancers' tickets are free. He's accommodating with transportation to and from. And Continental used to be like that. I remember at a time when Jim Flint would put us all on a bus. That's how we met the girls from other states and other cities, because we didn't have social media. We were sitting and we was talking to other girls, and he served a little lunch. And when you made the top 12, you got all your dancers' tickets and woo, woo, woo. But now everything is a business. They charge you for dancers. They charge you for a dresser. You can't use the same dancers if they're in the same night. It's just so much. It's so commercial that it's taking the joy out of the pageantry system. And I love that Rayshawn gives back. He treats his king and queen, even though there's no preliminaries yet. I've watched him treat not only the present king and queen, but the entire court, the staff, like they matter. They are appreciated. They are seen. Everybody is paid handsomely and taken care of, from the dinners to everything else. And I don't know what another pageant system does, but what I do know about Rayshawn Montrese, Mr. Ford, is that he takes care of everybody around him. And it is greatly appreciated. And I think that's because he has been on both sides of the spectrum. Because a lot of promoters don't know what entertainers go through when your shoes break right before you're going on stage, or your wig come loose, or your tuck break. You don't understand the extremities of that. And I got to go on stage and entertain this audience because you've never done it. Because he's done it, he understands it. He's a great businessman. King and Queen is the greatest pageant in the world right now. I'm just letting y'all know. And it's only growing. And we have a great representatives right now with Fantasia and Angel.
Yes. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Tiffany Monroe?
I'm in her house, so let me say something nice. Dot. That's Dot. And anybody who know me know Dot, because Dot is my fucking mother to me. You know, not my drag mother. Dot. I've been knowing Dot since I was 14 when we moved. My mama chasing a man. We moved to the south side. And Dot, we met on the block, and the boys, because we was the two punks on the block. So the boys tried to get us to fight each other. We looked at each other. They was having a water fight. We both had water. We looked at each other and fell out laughing. And we have been friends that long. At least... Ooh, I can't tell y'all how long because y'all don't know my real age. But and that child has taken care of me, has been auntie to my children, just like Coco is auntie to my children. Do you know that my children never knew that Coco or Fantasia? This is what the community don't know about me. They never knew that Fantasia or Coco was trans women because I never told them that. I said, this is my sister Coco, this Auntie Coco, this Auntie Dot, this Auntie Fantasia. Until they saw Fantasia do botch with me and saw her do a drag show, my daughter Izzy said, Dad. I said, yeah. Fantasia? I said, yeah.
Yeah. Alejandro Hill, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Ooh, Alejandro was my sweetheart crush when I was young, but then we became sisters. I'm glad we never had. Ooh, I'm glad we never had. She got too much for me, baby. I love her. Al and my baby Kirk Wembley, may he rest in peace. Which I wish he would have been there when they gave me that Black America, brought me back in Black America. I know he was smiling somewhere talking shit. But Alejandro and I have been friends for such a long time. Genuine person, always liked me for just being me. Used to go wear my clothes. He can't wear my clothes no more. Hell, I can't wear my clothes no more. I love Alejandro. That is my baby.
Okay, the last one, clearly. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear Continental?
I should have won in 2002 when we wanted Flame, and Jim Flint, you played too much. Because you know if you would have gave me that microphone, Yoshiko would have had to sit her ass down. We want Flame. Let me tell you something. That night to me, I won Continental, Black Universe, Black America, Gay America. I won every pageant known to man because we were at, I think we were at the Vic Theater. And my makeup artist at the time, Dale McDonald, who used to do my hair, we went down in the basement. So when I didn't get called for the top 5, I was like, hell, let's just change and go. Let's just go watch the pageant. So we hearing this roaring, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh my God, the building on fire. So I'm grabbing my stuff really quick. We try to pack up. We get up to the top, coming up to the top of the stairs. Jim Flint is coming down the stairs. He looked at me with one hand on the wall, and he put one hand on his chest, and his face was red as a lobster. And he looked at, and as I got closer, I could hear it. We want Flame. We want Flame. I broke out in complete tears and cried like a bitch right then and there. I just broke because that mean, oh, the people saw me. They liked me.
Right.
Because that year, it was, even in Chicago, it was all about Sasha Sanchez and Raquel Lord. That's who it was about. Those was the black girls. So they didn't expect me to come out the water with the shit I came out with. But when I heard that and I saw Jim Flint was about to go crazy. That really did something for me. I was like, wow, that was it for me. So I knew then, I was like, well, shit, you already won. You ain't got to come back to this. And then I went on and had babies and did other stuff.
What were you saying when you turned around and opened up that coat? What was coming out of your mouth?
I think I was saying, catch it, bitches, catch it. You know what was so funny, Trinity, is that I had that coat and I had an idea in my head to do it. But I was, you know how everybody have somebody out come and take it out. And it just never had a vavoom to me to have a guy come out and open it and then we all turn around. I'm like, no, bitch, you got to do it yourself. But I never expected the audience to lose their minds like that. So what y'all did was y'all spooked me. Because if you look, I jumped like because I didn't expect them to lose it like that.
And because you had threw their head up and you said I couldn't read what you were saying on the.
I was saying, and that's what Ginger said. Oh, it's because you were. I said, bitch, because they was eating it up and I was living for it. Victoria Pork Chop Parker said, oh, girl, when you open that coat with all that glitter, I said, no, sir. No, ma'am. No, thank you. Bitch, that was all Austrian crystal rhinestones. Because Alexis Gabrielle's son was the master of getting the stones back then. And my girlfriend Camille stoned all of that. I never expected the audience to lose it like that. That really scared me. That was great shit. I still got the dress. And I could fit it. Now, here's the killing part. When I wore the dress, I got 6th place. 2 years later, Mocha wore the dress and won Best Evening Gown. It ain't about what dress it is. It's about the bitch in it.
Wow.
Oh, wow. You never wanted to go back after that?
Huh?
You never wanted to go back after that year?
I did go back at Fantasia and Queen for Elite. I didn't run for the pageant. I was pretty much done with pageants. But Fantasia had a queen who won, but she was unable to go. So Fantasia and Anton Mulvaney from Southern California Continental Elite asked me to go in 2017 or something like, and I did it for them. And I had a great time. But no, when I worked for so hard, I watched Continental, with a pageant that I still love to this day. But I watched that pageant break a lot of girls. And I'm going to say my one girl who we love, who was the darling of Continental, may she rest in peace, Sasha Valentino. I watched that pageant break my sister. Again, it's what you let somebody take from you. And she wanted to be Miss Continental with everything in her. And we fucking wanted it for her. We wanted it for her so many times. And there was a couple of times I'm like, okay, God damn it, enough is enough. But which is why I say the community will switch on you because we loved Sasha in Continental. It was Continental. You can't think of Continental and don't think of Sasha Valentino. But in her last year when she was losing herself, I watched the people turn and walk away as if she never mattered, as if she didn't give you joy. You didn't fly in every year to buy tickets just to see what gown this girl was going to wear, just to see what talent this girl was going to do. They turned and walked. I'm telling you right now, you can't give everybody all of you because then you won't have nothing left.
Yeah.
Do you think you may have ever would have gotten to that place if you would have stuck it out and kept going and you what have you? Do you think maybe?
No, because after 2002, I won the dropper. So another year, in 97, I walked off the stage. The year Paris won, in 96, I walked off the stage and told Jim Flint to kiss my ass because I had did stand-up for the very first time. And Jim Flint told me stand-up was not a real talent. And Wikipedia says I'm worth $2 million. I ain't froze. I'm looking at y'all, looking at me.
We looking at you too. As we get these last 30 minutes, I want to ask you this. Coco Van Cartier made a post the other day because I follows her. She said you had one more in you.
Oh,
talk to us about that.
So there is a dream that I have always had.
Yes,
I don't know. I would not be a good queen. Let me just be very honest right now. I would have been years ago, but I'm too seasoned and I'm much of a bitch about my money right now. Mm-hmm. But Black Universe has always been the ultimate pageant for me. I went to that. I remember. Oh, so let's get to the Black America story because y'all know y'all want to know.
Yes, please.
So I won Black America in 1996, my first attempt after telling Jim Flint to kiss my ass doing stand-up, and came to Black America and won. And I call myself Black American 1996-89 because I won in 96 and I held it for 89 days.
89, not even 90, Flame.
Not even 90 days. Shit. Am I fro? No. And so Gerald Stevens and I had headed out because I had a hand in it too. Let me be honest. It wasn't just them. So I was living in Houston at the time, as you mentioned earlier, Wendell, because I was going through a heartbreak, and we was hanging out at the club. You know, I was a wild child. They had a little contest. I got in the contest. I didn't know you weren't supposed to get in the contest when you was a national title holder. I ain't even win either. My wig fell off. I was a mess. But had this young boy down there. I was, oh my God, I was doing some strange things. And but that's not why I got dethroned. I got dethroned because at the time we were all flying on stunt tickets. There was an airline at the time called Value Jet. The Black gay community at that time probably single-handedly put that airline out of business. Because we was flying left and right on Value Jet. So we all came to support Sasha in whatever year Lady Chablis hosted at the Round Theater. And I mean, the whole airplane was filled up with Chicago kids on stunt tickets flying to support Sasha for Black Universe, because we had heard, oh, you can't win this pageant. You got to have this. You got to be real smart. They check your shoes. They check your fingernails. Oh, we had heard all that. So Sasha was the first girl to come from Chicago and kick the door open like, oh, bitch, I'm here. And we was there for it. She didn't win. Jacqueline Devereaux won that night, and deservedly so, but we fell in love with Lady Chablis, and we fell in love with the Black Universe system. So I've always wanted to compete in that pageant because I'm still a punk up under all this luxury. I'm still a punk. And I love when the kids run around the room and get the reading. That thrills me, like when you're in church and the old women shout hallelujah. So I always want to do that pageant because I just want the children to go crazy. Now, I ain't going to be able to win because, listen, I ain't going to follow the damn rules. But to have all of that, because, on the outside looking in, y'all so judgmental as patrons. You don't understand all the blood, sweat, and tears that the entertainers, male and female, put into them 2 minutes that they're out there. It takes months. It takes thousands. It takes time. It takes preparation. Just for 2 minutes for them to cut that curtain and you don't like what they brought out and you go from to, ooh, girl, do you know what that will do to your spirit if you give yourself away again, like I've said? But you on the outside, you don't understand that these people put a lot into that. And I want to run for Black Universe because I want to be a punk. I want to be one good punk. But it's quite pricey. And if somebody else gonna pay for it, I'll do it. But if ain't nobody else paying for it, I ain't gonna do it. And Coco I
think if you put it out there, Flame, they would really come to your aid.
Girl, and my daughter about to graduate from high school, so I had time for rehearsal and shit. Let me tell you something. But it's one problem, and Coco will tell you what the problem is. Will y'all ever interview her? I hate to comb my hair.
Of all the things.
Listen, I have a bad juju about going on stage. I can't go on stage doing stand-up with my hair perm. If I took this wig off now, I look like Jethro from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh my God. Well, with that being said, if you do decide to ever go to Black Universe, you know that we will be supporting you, and that will be a treat. See, even if you go just to do the Nikki Bonet and show off your clothes, I think that would be such a moment.
I miss Nikki Bonet in Pageant. I hope she's fine, but Nikki Bonet used to upset the room, baby. That lady used to cut the corner.
Yes, she did.
Baby, one time that lady cut the corner with the little sensor on the pants. Let me tell you something. Those was the days of pageants that I wish these children would experience, because then it'll let you know, like they did on Pose when they went in and stole everything and all. The kids would do that back in the day and wear with the sensors on it. I'm telling you. And you would get extra points for that, by the way. And we would lose our man. You know what has happened with pageantry to me, Wendell and Trinity, is people love to holler, pageantry isn't a beauty contest. That's not a category. In fact, that's the first category.
Come on, Flame, talk about it.
Because if you don't feel pretty of who you are, why would you get on stage to display that? It doesn't matter what somebody else's opinion of you. It's what you see in your mirror that reflects back on you that you like. But they always holler, oh, beauty, that's not a category. Let me tell you something what beauty has done. And this is my bitch right here. I love me some Jasmine Bonet from now to the times get better. But when Jasmine was young and beautiful, and that sister used to turn the room, that's my sister. If it wasn't a gospel song, she ain't known the words to none of her goddamn songs. And if she wasn't pretty, y'all wouldn't have bought it. But because that hoe was so breathtaking, y'all bought everything she sold. Everything. You think they would have bought that if she was not attractive? But again, attractive is what you see in yourself. Because may she rest in peace. Also from Atlanta, Michonne Black was a chocolate girl who might not have been the most visually beautiful girl to some people, but her belief in what she had made you buy everything she was selling. That heifer right there believed it, stood on it, and saw what we didn't see.
From you don't want to tell us your age. We'll just say from 91. From 91 to today, what do you think the biggest downside of drag has been?
The commercialism of it. And the promoters picking and choosing who they want. Let me tell you something. If you don't want me to have an opportunity to be in your contest, then don't take my money at a registration. And if you got any inclination that I'm planning on running for your pageant 2, 3, 4 weeks in advance, tell me then so I won't waste my time and my money on you. I think it's a great responsibility from promoters to say, hey, I know you. I know a little bit about your reputation. It's not that I'm going to even entertain it. I think they say that all businesses, we reserve the right to refuse anyone. I think because you want some of these promoters want the controversy, or they want the money, or they want the ticket sales. That's doing an injustice to the contestant.
Earlier, you said you were a muse. You groomed a lot of the girls. What's some things that you see the girls aren't doing now that you did, or you groomed your girls to do?
I was a tyrant. I ain't gonna even lie. I came up under Jim Flint's rule. I was a tyrant like Jim Flint. Like Leslie Racine was a tyrant. I just wanted the girls always to be female impersonation was what we did. You know, we called it drag, of course. But that's why we were so glamorous in Chicago, because we aspired to be females, girly body, the gowns, the skin, you know, that's what we was on. You know, and Amelia and Casey Quartermain, Casey rest in peace, were the two black beauties of Chicago. Amelia's still a striking bitch. But so that's what we went after. But now it's like no titty cups, no hip pads, no stockings, your beard shadow showing. That is not my type of female impersonation. I know they say drag has evolved. I don't know where it's going, but you know, maybe they need to put it on one of Elon Musk's rocket ships because they ain't never made it out of space. But it's going somewhere that I like. That I got a Giselle Barbie Royale because she's still young, but she still got that old school. Because I love to see a girl ballad. You know, everybody think you got to be this beauty to ballad. You just got to believe it. Michonne Black believed it, and we bought everything she sold. And the girls who I admire now, because you ain't asked me who I admire. Let me tell you, go ahead. That Danielle A.G. That heifer got a walk on her. That is
love her.
That body.
That
love her.
That heifer, like Millie Jackson say, she walks in like she owned the mother. That girl got a nasty. I love it. It's so powerful. Like Judas Jemison. That Godfrey Abu is one of the most talented girls out here.
Yes.
And that Ava Glascott.
Beautiful.
Let me tell you something. She's like a Jasmine Bonet. That bitch ain't got to know not one word, and we still gonna buy what she's selling. Beauty is the first category in a pageant. Understand that. Right. But Cezanne, my baby, Cezanne taught me a very valuable lesson many years ago when we worked at the baton together. She says anybody can paint on a pretty face.
That's true.
Well, I don't know if that's true, because I'm telling you, I've seen some girls with the best makeup artists, and
Play.
I thought it was gonna drop out.
Right. RuPaul sent you an email asking you to come judge. Would you come judge?
Absolutely. I have no qualms with RuPaul. For many years, I wouldn't watch RuPaul's Drag Race because as much as the community loves to holler inclusion, they never included a real trans woman on there. They transitioned either on there or after. But when my baby Sasha Colby got on there and gone ahead and shook the whole table, I was like, I'm cool with Ru now because, listen, don't ask for inclusion on the outside when we don't have it on the inside. That's all I was ever saying. But it's just the way I say it.
You're back, Miss Black America 1996. You have been reinstated. Tell us how that feels.
Oh, I never told y'all where they dethroned me.
Yes, please tell us that first.
So Alicia Kelly at the time, it was a prelim in Mississippi. And Alicia Kelly was doing a ticket. Now, I'm telling you, we was all flying on stunt tickets. I had no issue with flying on a stunt ticket, but I needed to know in advance because maybe 2 weeks before that, if not even shorter, Cezanne, who was Miss Continental at the time, had just went to jail for flying on a stunt ticket through somebody I hooked her up with. Let me give y'all the real tea. And but Cezanne decided to stay an extra day. I'm like, bitch, them tickets hot. You got to leave like the next day.
Right.
And so if I would have went to jail on that stunt ticket when she called me at 4 o'clock in the morning for a flight that was leaving at 6, it wouldn't have been Miss Black America went to jail. It would have been Flame Monroe went to jail. And I was not going to jail in Mississippi. So I'm like, I ain't going. Y'all ain't finna hook me up. So that is when they dethroned me. And so Gerald asked me for his crown back, and I sent it back to him in as many pieces as I could cut and cocked.
Flame, you cut it up. You broke it.
I'm looking at you, looking at me, looking at you.
Wow.
So when Benny brought me in, thank you, Benny Mosley, for that. Everybody was like, why you ain't talk to Benny? Benny was never a part of the system when I was dethroned. Benny came on later. So for Benny to come in and invite me back, I thought that was fantastic. 29 years. I hadn't been to the pageant since I won. But I thought that was great. And I couldn't even embrace the moment like I wanted to because my dog died that morning and I was fucking heartbroken over my baby. That dog loved me unconditionally. He didn't care if I was Republican, Democrat, upside down, downside up. All I had to do was feed him, pat him on the head, and take him for a walk. Damn it, if only relationships and kids was that easy.
Damn. But wait. I have a question about the dethroning of it all, though.
Yeah.
So ultimately, you were dethroned for not doing something illegal?
Actually, yes. And that's it. Well, I told you I had did the contest. So I did the contest in Houston, which I wasn't supposed to do, but I didn't know because there wasn't no rules books and shit there back then. It was just word of mouth. So I got reprimanded for that. But it wasn't that that I couldn't take a reprimand, but you don't talk to me any kind of way because I'm not going to talk to you any kind of way. But I will match your energy. Okay. And Gerald, back in the day, Gerald was somebody to deal with, and he just didn't know he was dealing with the flame. But he found out.
Y'all had a moment.
We had 5 minutes. Well, fuck a moment. We had 5 minutes. He said, well, why did you enter my contest? I said, because I had a phone bill due, and I want to thank you for paying it. Ooh, I lost my crown.
No, but I mean, like, did y'all have a moment this year, Black America?
No, I didn't know he was there.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see him.
Oh, he was there.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, and that's another thing. I've grown. I'm cool. I would have spoken. I would have said, hey, Gerald, but you didn't make yourself, so maybe it ain't me carrying the torch. But now I'm part of the system, so I get to do the walk next year. And I'm going to let you bitches know early, I'm not going to play with you.
Oh, we know you're not.
I'm so glad I'm plus. I'm so glad I'm plus.
I cannot wait.
I cannot wait. But I'm glad that you are back because now will you be able to will you be open to using your talents with the system like MCing and stuff?
Oh, I think they pretty much got the MC I want. But what I will do, because I got a lot of stuff coming up, including the Breakfast Club in the next couple of weeks and everything, I will talk about the Black American system. I didn't even know that the system had been around for 46 years. I found that out this year. You know what I really respected about the pageant when I was there that took way too long, Benny, you got to fix that, was that he had the woman pray over the room before, because I'm really into I love to hear a prayer. I love to know people acknowledge the Lord and know who they are. And I always tell that joke about Whitney Houston because people always say she was high, she was this, she was that. You've never seen that woman do an interview and not acknowledge the Lord. Never. And Wendy Williams told Whitney Houston up every chance she got. Woo, 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 you're crackhead, you this and that. When Whitney died in 2009, Whitney got to heaven and Tap got on the show and said, look here, player, get her. If you look at Wendy Williams' career ever since Whitney Houston died, pay attention to who you put your mouth on, because God don't play about his own.
Right about that. Flame.
Look, I just fucked somebody up with that one. Y'all thinking they'll get on research.
Flame, talk to us about your tour that you're on.
So I am on the Funny and Fearless tour with Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish's tour, and Barbara Carlisle, who is a veteran in the game for 48 years in comedy, and myself, we are her openers with DJ Trauma. And we're Tiffany is taking us to the most abstract places. We have done Salem, Pennsylvania. We did Chattanooga, all these red states. And I'm telling y'all, I really am changing hearts and minds because I always do politics. I make jokes. And the people come up and talk to me afterwards. And we just really gel because I ain't trying to change what you are. I ain't trying to get you to change who I am. I just want you to see me because I see you. Right. And Tiffany she pays well. She puts us in the grandest hotel. And she really is taking, we'll be in Florida this weekend. I'll be in Tampa Friday and Fort Lauderdale Saturday. But next month, we're in North Dakota and Montana, totally red states, places where they don't even receive trans people like that. But I'm telling y'all right now, I take them on a ride, put them in the car, strap them down, flip them, let them go, and then they come over and we just have a great conversation. I am really allowing people to see, listen, we are some cool people. Yes, we got some people that think a little different from us and maybe a little extreme, but for the most part, any trans person you walk up to, if you don't come up to them the wrong way and say, so what are you? Or you say, oh my God, what's your name? What do you do? Most trans people are so transparent that they will share their story with you as long as they don't feel the defensiveness coming from. Because if I feel aggression, I'm automatically going to the defense because we have had to live in that for such a long time. But you got to accept you first. Let me tell you something about acceptance. Acceptance is a blueprint that starts with you.
Oh, love that.
Do you dress like that on the stage or your tour Flame?
Oh, this is way too covered up. I'm naked as a motherfucker. Girl, you playing with
That's why they be so open to receiving you.
Let me tell you something. And all of me is part of my comedy. So I'm consider myself a A-list comedian. I don't, but I think but I was taught a very valuable lesson by the late great Paul Mooney. We met at the Comedy Union many years ago, and he saw me on stage, and he came outside. He said, "Girl, Miss Thing." He said, bitch, I don't care who you on stage with. They going to always remember the sissy in the dress. Another life lesson that hit me here. Because my girlfriend was like, girl, you not offended? I was like, bitch, did you just hear what he said to me? He told me that I was unforgettable. See, it is how you receive things. Yes. That's what I heard. Right. She heard something negative. I heard, bitch, and then that gave me the chops and the stamina to stand on stage with the greatest of all time, with Dave Chappelle, and hold it down. That is it. He gave me that, but I like to wear my scandalous dresses because you gotta give them something to look at. Trinity, girl, I'm still a girl.
Yeah. Flame, who is somebody that you would love to work with? I know you said Dave Chappelle was definitely your top, but who is someone else that you would just love to work with?
I would love to be in a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Okay. Oh.
I would love to work with on the grand scale. I would love to work with Billy Crystal because I always thought he was hilariously funny. I would love to work with Whoopi, even though I don't think Whoopi we would gel with the way I speak and the way she speaks. But I would love to work with Whoopi and absolutely Tyler Perry. Listen. I don't know why Medea and me ain't working at a strip club for a club called Used to Be Bad Bitches. Oh, baby, I would run the club.
Oh, that would slightly turn it up.
That would.
Baby, Medea and Flame. I want my name to be Scrumptious, and the name of our strip club is Used to Be Bad Bitches. Oh, that would be hot.
Flame, just because I'm nosy, read between the lines. Have you ever had to sign any NDAs?
Absolutely. I told you I wasn't always this person. I was a girl. That basketball joke I told on they read it. They got me nominated for the Emmy. That basketball player joke. There's parts to that are very true.
Oh, okay. We'll talk. Okay.
Valencia asked, "Who was your Black America King?" Did you have a Black America King?
No, they didn't have. I don't think they had Mr. at the. That was.
I don't think it had started yet, huh?
Yeah, I don't think they had started yet. But these Mr. Pageants These Mr. Pageants are quite entertaining.
Yes. Well, I think they had to have had one, but they maybe didn't have one that year because isn't Johnny like 30 years ago or something?
He was 35, but then they stopped having it and they
stopped. Okay.
Oh, okay. Jasmine crowned me. And that night, Chevelle Brooks, let me tell you, I had just met Chevelle. She was very young. So was T.I. when she won. Tanisha was like 19. Chevelle had danced. So there was a rivalry because there's a girl from Florida. Her name is Antoinette Chanel. Not Antoinette. Her name was Antoinette something else. Really dark skin, really pretty girl. And so she was the known dancer. So they was in the back hyping up. She was in the back shaking her titties. And she was using all her energy. And Chevelle was out there just getting it. I mean, that heifer was gone. So Miss Thing went out there. So she did Keep Your Body to Body. So she went out. They hollering and screaming. She shook her titties for about 2 minutes. She was out of breath. And it was done. And we lost it in the back. Oh, my God. It was so funny. Chevelle was like, I said, bitch, you didn't tore that woman up. That was one of the greatest nights. What's her name? Santana T. Summers. I thought she was going to jump off the stage. Good God. She was so mad. When T.I. won, she said, muscles and makeup don't mix. I said, girl, you ain't like me.
Flame, if you had to do a Mount Rushmore of drag, give me 4 girls you would put on it.
Definitely my mama Sherry Payne. Because my mama Sherry Payne is longevity. The race is not given to the swift, but to those that endure to the end. Sherry Payne, 71 years old and still giving it to these young girls. Chanel Dupree, for sure. It can't be four. It's got. Let me just name the ones that I. Maya Douglas, because that face has always been undeniable. Um, Tommy Ross, for sure, because again, the longevity of it, Miss Tommy's still in demand, and Tommy got to be 214 years old. Got to be. I love that bitch because her political mind is fantastic. Sophia McIntosh, not before her drag, but Sophia has been the architect of controlling so many shows and keeping that energy flowing to make a good show, because a good host makes a great show. Yeah. A lot of times the entertainers may drop the ball, or you may get 2, 3 that's dry, and then one. The entertainer keep the energy high. Who did I truly? I didn't like this girl. I did not like this girl. Before, I'm gonna say Leslie Resnick first. That's not her. But this girl I did not like, and some of y'all loved her. I didn't like her as a person, but I love this bitch's drag and what she did for the stage. Tandy Andrews. We didn't get along.
Why?
Because Tandy thought I was supposed to kiss her ass, and I would have kicked her ass. And I told her that. When she got dethroned as Miss, was it National?
National.
At Continental, I had that black Starburst gown, and I had let her use it for the pageant because Martin begged me to. Martin made it, and she loved the gown so much, but she didn't want to give it back, and everybody knew she was a notorious thief. I ain't telling y'all nothing y'all don't already know. Y'all just didn't want to hear it. But I'm gonna say it any damn way. And so when she came to the pageant, she's like, "I want to wear your gown to give up to, to take the crown and throw the crown down." I said, "No, girl, you can't wear my gown." She said, "Well, you didn't make the top 12 anyway." I said, "It don't matter, bitch. You ain't gonna wear this gown." And so she's like, "I should do something to you." I said, "Girl, you in Chicago." I snapped my finger, and Stephanie and them had already surrounded this hoe. Bitch, I'm at home. You don't want to play with me in this city. And I just did not care for her. But what she did as a drag queen, her fearlessness, she was a monster. Another one on my Vancy Vega. Vancy Vega is one of the most talented bitches in the business. Fearless. Another fearless one, Tasha Long. And if I got to put Victoria LePage for her professionalism, because that hoe gonna be done and dressed. But if I got to put at the top of everybody who drag was to me, I'm gonna add Shantae to the list first. Not Alexander Billing, Shantae. The top of the mountain is Monica Monroe, because there is not and there never will be another one like that one. And if you did not get to see it live, I'm sorry for you.
We got to add you to it, though.
Honey, I am the mountain.
What you say? Climb you. From playing in the streets to today, any redos, anything that you regret, anything that you would do over?
I regret losing my friendship with some people. I ain't gonna say no names personally. I think they know who they are. And I wish that I knew how to control when I said it. Not necessarily what I said, but when I said it. Because it pushed me out of rooms that I probably should have been in.
Wow.
And to know that I was the only transgender comedian for so many years that worked mainstream, because I didn't even do the gay clubs. I didn't want to do the alternative. I didn't want an asterisk in front of comedian. I just wanted comedian Flame Monroe. I didn't want alternative comedian, drag queen comedian. I just wanted comedian Flame Monroe. So I worked in those arenas so I could put myself there and belong there, feel like I belong there, and I do. And I just wish that I would have had, like I said before, I wish I would have had more finances when I was young to take my children to Europe and to do theater runs. Now, we did do them here and there, but to do theater runs with my children, because I think culturally teaching children, especially when they're young, really develops them into being whole human beings. But because my kids grew up with me and I am this person, I'm an alternative person, I don't allow them to make jokes of handicapped people or this type of person, people with disabilities, because I'm like, you want somebody talking about your daddy? So that's always my go-to. Do you want somebody talking about your dad? My daughters now said, you going to say something back? I say, you damn right. But since I instilled that and they were young, they are really lenient on just seeing people and accepting people for who they are. Those might be the only regrets. I don't know if I can regret nothing else.
Right.
It molded me and made me who I am today. And I like who I am today.
Yeah.
What actress or actor would you pick right now to play you in a biopic?
Oh, who I think I look like. Now, y'all gonna laugh when I tell y'all this. Who I think I look like? Lala Anthony. No, I'm just joking. You know who I think could play me? Zendaya. Because if you look at old pictures of me and look at some pictures of Zendaya, now she's a much softer than me, but Zendaya looked like me when I was really young and skinny.
Okay. All right, Zendaya. We got a role for you.
And listen, women have played trans women before. The first movie I ever did was with Kerry Washington and Diana Ross's son, Evan. It was called Life is Hot in Cracktown, where she played a trans woman. And I had one line in the movie. This was, oh my God, 2006 maybe. It was way back. But she played a trans woman. I love that trans women are now getting the opportunity to play the roles. I do.
Without any explanation, one single word, what would you describe your life as? What would that word be?
Fascinating.
I love it. What do you want your legacy to be?
I did it my way. That's it.
Her way.
Because you know what I look at life, my life lessons I teach my children is the same thing. Life is a trade-off. Life is a trade-off. You will never get everything you want, but you got to learn to be happy with what you have. More is coming, especially if you're working for it. And more is coming, but life is a trade-off. People, because of the internet, because of everything is instant gratification. Give it to me now. I want it now. I want it now. The reason I survived in the industry as long as I have, especially working as a comedy club and as a comedian, is because I allowed it to happen organically. You know, it wasn't always the easy road, and there was plenty of times I felt humiliated. I'm not gonna lie and tell y'all that it was always nice and woo woo, but being on stage as a stand-up comedian was something that was a fire that was burning in me, and hosting those shows for so many years successfully that helped. But that was just us. I wanted to know if I can make I'm just saying regular people laugh. Can I make? I know the gays laugh with me. I know this is my community. We cutting up together. We reading. But can I tell stories to make these people laugh? I proved that to myself. And there is a video of me on the internet when I was at the comedy club in Atlanta, Uptown, when it was on Marietta Street in the hood. It was Sunday night. The dope dealers, the strippers, the drug dealers, all had their guns and shit night. So I was there on a Sunday night back then, and I had on a blue sheer dress. Oh, the body was banging. It ain't banging no more. It's been banged out. And so they had just threw bottles at two A-list comedians. I believe Charlie Murphy was one of them. Oh, they were real rough. So the manager at the time, Hank, came in the back and he said, Flame, I had did the whole weekend. He said, Flame, I'm gonna give you your full pay. You ain't got to go out there because they crazy, Flame. He said, do you want to go or do you not want to go? I said, give me 5 minutes. So he left the room. And I sat in that room and I looked in the mirror. I said, bitch, you say this is what you want to do? And I was petrified for my life. I was like, well, bitch, this is what you say you want to do. Go prove it. So me, up for the challenge, I said, I'm going to do it. You can watch it on the internet, went out there and destroyed the room. And if I wouldn't have never done that, I would have never known the power that I had because, again, I would have let the fear take my power away. Fear ain't your friend.
These last 2 hours, Flame Monroe. Wow.
We've been on here for 2 hours. Girl, you know I'm a talker. I'm sorry, y'all.
Wow. I have garnered a new respect, a definite love, a understanding from you. So I'm gonna let King close.
Because King been real quiet. Men are usually not so quiet around me, King. Am I intimidating?
It's the blonde.
No,
Have you always been blonde?
No, your flame was from my red hair. I'm always red. Everybody wearing red.
Oh, okay.
Remember you said
I saw this
Clairol
today
number.
at the
What
wig
was the
store. I was like,
Clairol
oh, this
number?
is very
33.
I found this today at the wig store. I said, oh, this is very interview hair.
Yeah.
But what was your red box in high school?
33 R Flame. It's Clairol.
Okay.
So, Flame, first off, thank you so much. It's so much acknowledgement because you've always been amazing. But I do personally think that I think you undercut what you've done in the community because you've done a lot. And so I think that it is important that that is acknowledged more than not, because I think a lot of times it is forgotten. So I'm one that believes that if you are screaming when a person does something wrong, you have to scream just as loud when they do something right. And so you've done a lot. With US of A, I remember the first time I ever went to Miss Texas, you were competing in it and you did stand-up comedy and everyone was gagged because they had never had that. And now you see people doing that often. So you really did break some glass ceilings. And I think it's important that you are respected for that. So I thank you for all of the contributions that you've done in this community, period. And I want you to know that every time you have a platform, with be it Don Lemon or anywhere else, you are in protest for what you are and who you are. So even though some people may not understand or agree, you are still fighting for them without even trying. So thank you for that also. So we always ask our guests to leave us with a nugget that we all can take with us through our journey of life. So what is
So,
that one nugget that you would leave with us?
so my nugget would be know the difference between your gift and your superpower. My gift is my ability to make people laugh and very comfortable. But my superpower is I remove the fear to let you see me. If you see this one trans woman, you'll see the next trans woman, you'll see the next trans man. That is my superpower. My gift, I make you laugh. My superpower is I make you very comfortable. I take away the cheesecloth. I take away the can I talk? Because I talk when I talk with men, I'm uncle. I'm the brother to brother. When I talk with women, girl, you see, and I make because you can see the duality in me, and I allow them to see that. I think it takes people's edge off. So know the difference between your gift and your superpower.
When is your
That's
next
good.
date? The
Friday,
next.
baby. Friday, Tampa. I ain't never been to Tampa. I heard it's nice and ghetto. I got a dress in Tampa that's
It
gonna make the
is.
men better and the women wetter, baby. Woo!
I think Baxter is down there in that area. Maybe he'll come see
Baxter
you.
is coming. Let me tell you something about Baxter Braxton before you get off here.
Go
Baxter
ahead.
did an interview with a young lady last night who I had never seen, never heard of. Her name is
Brazil.
Brazil.
Madam Brazil. I fell in love with this girl because of her authenticity. She didn't try to push anything narrative on anybody else, but she was just being her genuine her. And when I tell you I had so much respect for that woman, because the killing part is a lot of my trans sisters get mad at me. I told y'all we doing the same thing. So many of the girls dating trans men. Trust and believe. I know what y'all doing. It's good, ain't it?
You did it first. So, will you be at Continental Plus Tuesday?
Ooh, I don't know. That depends on how successful Monday night is. Because y'all might listen. First of all, I ain't did an 11 o'clock at night show till 3 o'clock in the morning since I was probably in my late 30s. A bitch might not be able to get out the bed to Tuesday night. I might miss the pageant, but I'll definitely be at Elite. I'm excited about it. I'm sure I'm going to make it to come to the
Oh,
pageant because I
yes,
enjoy
please
coming.
come. I want to hug your neck, so please come to
But
Plus. I
Monday
won't get there.
night, girl, I'm going to see you
Yes.
Monday night at the white party, right?
I don't get there till Tuesday morning.
Ooh, she's very unprofessional, Wendell. I don't even know how you do it. Anyway, uh, don't forget, y'all, get your tickets on Eventbrite. I want to thank you guys who've been purchasing tickets too. Y'all bought all the tables. I have a fan. I'm gonna tell y'all this. I have a fan in Dubai. I think he got a crush on me. I ain't never met him, but I seen him.
Yeah, most likely.
He bought 4 tables and 80 tickets and told me to donate them. Now I ain't donating shit. You still buy your ticket at the door. But I'm just saying I appreciate the love that people are coming in to support me
Wow.
because just because I get a lot of backlash from certain people, I also get a lot of love
Love.
from the world, and I don't have to pander to women. I always remember that my mother's a woman. I was on a panel once. I don't think they're going to air it because it was so brutal with a bunch of trans women, and they went around the room and they was asking all these trans women, what is a woman to you? And they was some was social construct, some was excess chromosome, some was this or that. So they asked my dumb ass, they said, well, Flame, what is a woman to you? I said, your mother. And they couldn't say anything. They wanted to get mad. But this is what I'm saying. As trans women, especially, that is the first woman we saw. We emulate, we clean up like her, we do our makeup like her, we sometimes prep like her, because that was the muse that we saw. Again, you covet what you see every day. I'm never going to lose respect for a biological woman because the only allies that the LGBT community has ever had 110 toes down were biological women. Men will lay down with us, women will stand up for us. As trans women, we can't even always count on the gay boys. If we gonna do it, we gonna do it. We can't even always count on the gay boys. They used to out us. Now they try to be us. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them got wigs in the closet. And so you biological women have always been the muse. I emulate myself being a woman because I watched the woman Trinity. I didn't watch my dad like I watched my mom to be a girl. But a lot of us lose sight of that. And I'm telling y'all right now, if we alienate women, we are lost for real. Now, we are already losing the battle with this food in office because they are trying to take everything away from us. I implore you guys to make sure that you are registered to vote. Shout out to Texas for releasing Carmelo Anthony jail, because I did donate $250, and I hope y'all donate, because I'm telling you something right now. Texas is a brutal state for Black folks, and that boy was only afraid. I do not believe he intended to do that, but when you are afraid, you will lash out. I told you, fear is not your friend, and it was just a mistake that happened, because they're not telling the other side that that boy was a bully. But I'm glad that that boy is out of jail and safe at home with his family. But y'all do know, donate to his campaign to get a great lawyer, because Texas will execute that young man if y'all don't. They are brutal in Texas.
Right. Coco said you better be at Condom Plus, so because she's shutting the opening down.
Is she gonna paint me? Shit, because you know she acts real funny about painting me.
Oh.
I have a time limit. That bitch get 31 minutes. She don't get no more than that.
You know it don't take that much for you.
I told you. I tell people all the time, when the canvas is clean, babe, all you gotta do is put a little color on it.
Flame, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity and coming on and just being your authentic self, doing it your way. This will stay up. Of course, you know, I know they're going to be calling you, hitting you up, but you've done this before. We appreciate you for giving us this opportunity, and I look forward to seeing you Tuesday at Continental Plus.
I'll be there. Okay. Thank you guys. Let me tell you something. We grow as people. We grow as family, and we are all in this together. Yes, we may have different philosophies, different ideologies, but collectively, we are still all in this together. So I'm glad that I was able to remove whatever. I was like, oh, well, okay, and come on, because I watched you guys. I did now, and y'all know I tune in every week.
Every week, you are,
and I don't always tune in for the guests. I tune in to see how y'all handle the guests a lot of times.
Right.
Because once you make me sure, then I'll be like, yes, and y'all made me sure. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. And mind you, Monday I'm gonna be selling fans, and we're gonna do the put boots on the ground video with everybody in the room. We're gonna go viral. Monday we are going to do something that needs to be done in this country. We are going to have fun.
Right.
Fun. That's it. Monday night at the Fantasy Nightclub, 3641 North Halsted. We're going to have fun. I'm going to cut up. I'm going to change dresses. I got Trina True Love from Chicago co-hosting. I got some dancers. I might have this boy from, what's that show, All the Queens Men. His price is high. I'm trying to talk him down. I'm trying to talk.
Let me change my flight. Let me hold on.
Girl, listen, I'm telling you right now, if he come in the room, he can throw it over your shoulder and you can burp it. Good God, Jesus.
Flame. Oh, my God. If you're in Florida this weekend, go check out Flame. If you're in Chicago, make sure you check her out on.
And for ticket information for the tour, go to tiffanyhaddish.com. Listen, I know some people look at me this way, some people that, man, I applaud you. I appreciate you. Listen, I'm doing me. You do you. I appreciate you guys having me on here.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Quick question. Is DJ Envy really that cute in person?
Girl, he looked like a damn lemon head. He's so pale. Oh, you got the hots for Envy. Oh, okay. I'm gonna tell him when I'm on there, in front of everybody on the Breakfast Club. So I got my sister, her name Trinity Black. She got the hots for you, Envy.
I'm gonna send you a picture to give them. Okay. Thank you, Flame, and I'll see you I'll see you Tuesday. But we'll
thank you, Wendell. Thank you guys. Flame. I appreciate it.
And Flame have a banging body. She was lying when she said her body is still banging.
We saw her a couple of weeks ago.
It just failed.
It's just age appropriate.
Now you're gonna insult a bitch. Okay, bye. I'm out. I'm going.
All right, bye. See y'all later.
Bye.